Grim bloke. Yeah. And then, yeah, bro. Yeah. You bruv. In it. Grim bloke. Let me tell you about this one time. I went through a porthole and snuck into the North Pole and got picked up in a Hyperborean DeLorean. They said they knew I was a Webster Merriam historian, master the numerical Gregorian, the hysterical mystic, no more than a Pythagorean's conspiracy theory Ethereum in the etheric fear realm. I thought they were gonna take me to the crematorium in their Hyperborean DeLorean. Tested me on my Sumerian, Shakespearean, knew I was a numerical vegetarian Aquarian, that I knew about the Tartarians, barbarians, Mars radium, aliens. Salt of the earth, solution Selenian. Spent the night in a Hyperborean chamber. I looked around and thought, bruv, who hired the painter? Hyperborean memoriam, auditorium, all cause I got picked up in the Hyperborean DeLorean. Introducing all love. Jack Ruff. Yeah. Invisible diamond minerals, crystalline and swimming pools, interdimensional realms of scrapping Catherine, Bahamas, Azores, Atlantis shores, mountains, temples, marble floors, seafloors, treasure and cities lost. Yeah, bruv, in it. Oh, sphinxes, pyramids and minotaurs, fruit grown in grove luxuriant. In it. Inhabitants intelligent, closest seen to perfection. The whole experience, heaven to them, polar aurora, horizon beyond them. Flats and sky, lake of fire, core and flora, but bright comets, tornadoes, turbulence, not prohibition, more. Not forbidden, thought expansive, places massive. In it, yeah, bruv. In it, oh.
Welcome back, ballers. Mic check.
Yeah. Telling stories in the Hyperborean DeLorean. Grim bloke. Jack bruv. In it. Just hanging out around. Oh, Jack bro. 88892. If you didn't know, now you're forever exploring it interdimensional. Historian, moratorium. Just hanging around till the stars in the Hyperborean DeLorean. Just hanging around.
What's up, everybody? You guys hear me okay?
I can hear you. Didn't know, forever exploring.
Thanks, Rambo.
Interdimensional primordial. Historian moratorium, just hanging around, telling stories in the Hyperborean DeLorean.
Welcome back, ballers, to another episode of Eye to Eye with AJ, Rambo, and Cody. First things first, mic check. If we can get just a thumbs up in the chat, I want to make sure the audience can hear us okay. And I think, Rambo, you said you can hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I can hear you as well. Cody, how are you?
Doing good. Hope you guys can hear me. I can hear you guys.
Absolutely enthused. And Coffee, Sojo, thank you guys so much for the mic check. Appreciate you guys. Let's jump right into it. My name is AJ, Balll Don't Lie, 3 L's in Ball. You guys can find me on both Instagram and YouTube, as well as on Patreon for those that are interested in my content with regards to the sports betting community. It's never an advertisement for sports betting, but I know that there are people out there that do appreciate the homework done before game time. I also have an email that you guys can reach out to me at wordplaybook, 3 O's in book, @gmail.com. And I can send you guys any of the 11 books now that I've written for free electronically. So hit me up. I'll hook you guys up. Cody.
Yeah, thanks again, everyone, for being here. Thanks, AJ, for setting this up. And thanks, Rambo, for being here and sharing your great information. And hopefully we can have a good stream tonight. To everyone in the chat, thanks for being here. If you guys want to find me, you guys know the drill. It's Decoding with Cody on YouTube. And then also buymeacoffee.com/decoding with Cody is where support can be given if you would like. So yeah, I look forward to another Tuesday night.
Best night of the week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This will be fun. Rambo, last but certainly not least.
Yeah, thank you. And I agree with the sentiments of Cody. Thank him for being here. Thank you, AJ, for being here as well, and for you putting this all together. This is where I can be found. I can appreciate AJ for promoting this. Patreon.com/thetruthcodes. $5 a month is the only tier. You have access to the Codebreaker community Discord server, and I'm also on Instagram.com/thetruthcodes.
And you have a treat for us today, right? I believe you have a excerpt video that we can kick off the stream with.
Yes, I have a video coming up. It is regarding the biggest event that is thank you, King Bags. It's the biggest event in the news at the moment. It seems like there's something every week, doesn't it? You'd think the removal of a head of state, bombing a capital city of another country and forcibly removing their head of state, that will be in the news for a few months, you'd think, right? At least a month, right? No, it's gone in a week. Now it's the Renee Good in Minneapolis. And what I'm focusing here on is where this is happening. We've been there before. Why Minneapolis? So that's what my video is about. Why Minneapolis? And that there's an esoteric reason as to why these events, which are have a huge impact on human consciousness. But Minneapolis over and over seems to be the center. And that's what my decode will be about. And this is actually an excerpt of the intro to the video, which I'm almost done editing it. So the intro, it's a long intro, but this is an abbreviated intro. So the music might jump a little because I've abbreviated the intro. It's a 5-minute excerpt.
Tonight, from Philadelphia to Durham to New York and Minneapolis, demonstrators demanding justice following the deadly shooting of 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, the mother of 3 shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis this week. For the 4th night in a row, a large group of demonstrators gathered to protest the fatal shooting of 20-year-old Daunte Wright. Wright's family adamant the shooting was no accident. As officers apprehended him, Wright tried to get back in the car. According to the criminal complaint, Potter, a field training officer, yelled "taser," but discharged her 9mm Glock handgun instead, striking Wright's left side. Her former police chief calling it an accident.
Intense protest has erupted around the United States, making world headlines, but they are protests over events that happened in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. We've seen this before. Protests over an event that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
In Britain, officials had asked people to stay away. But they weren't listening. Instead, thousands defied the COVID lockdown rules to deliver a message of solidarity with American protesters.
Black Lives Matter!
Everywhere, George Floyd's death has struck a mighty chord. In Paris, they marched. And in Rome, silent crowds took a knee. In Sydney, Australia, the focus was on Aboriginal people beaten or killed in custody.
Why is Minnesota at the heart of so many major American grand-scale occult rituals, which is what this is? I had identified Minnesota as being a primary high ritual site before, but this latest incident, the shooting death at the hands of ICE agents of Renee Good, just validates my assertion. The key is that most ubiquitous and powerful of esoteric symbols, the twins. There are too many examples to mention. September 11th. Nazis were obsessed with twins. In popular culture, the Twin Pines Mall of Back to the Future. The twin peacocks at the Vatican, Fontana de la Pina. The grand-scale twin symbolism are in Minnesota, the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Of course, St. Paul in Portuguese is Sao Paulo. And in Sao Paulo, Brazil, there is a giant replica of the Second Temple of Jerusalem with its signature sets of twin pillars. The human being is a powerful, theoretically godlike being subjected to incalculable, unfathomable, and successful efforts to suppress their consciousness, control their perception. The center of human consciousness is the brain. The human brain has a left and right hemisphere. These are the twins. And this is why Minnesota is at the heart of American large-scale perception consciousness sorcery.
That was fantastic as always, Rambo.
Yeah, thanks. So it's titled I-35, which is a play on Interstate 35. I in the letter. It's the same double entendre you do with the title of this show. So the I-35 is it's an interstate that is, it runs from south to north, north to south of the United States. It starts in Laredo, Texas, and it ends, depending where you start. It starts in the South Laredo, Texas, at the Texas-United States border, and it ends in Duluth, Minnesota. And Minnesota is the northernmost point of the contiguous 48 states. And thank you, Enthused. Thank you. So that's the symbolism. I-35, Interstate 35, is a symbolic spine. There are many metaphors to the spine. There's in Freemasonry, well, it's also in Christianity, and I guess Judaism as well. They call it Jacob's ladder. So Jacob, who's, again, the twin symbolism I talked about. You saw I talked about the twin symbolism. And I talk about this in the video. Who is famous twins from Abrahamic religions? It's Esau and Jacob. Jacob and Esau are the twins. Very major figures. And Jacob, in a story is that Jacob fell asleep, and That was at the town called Bethel is where it happened. He fell asleep and he had a dream or slash vision of a ladder leading to heaven, and angels were ascending and descending the ladder to heaven. And they call that Jacob's ladder. But Jacob's ladder is a metaphor for many things. In ancient Egypt, they call it the Jed pillar, and it's the human spine. Then the human spine has 33 vertebrae, which is why 33 is such, it's associated with the highest degree Scottish Rite Freemasonry, but they're not the ones who made it sacred. The human spine has 33 vertebrae. That's why it's an important number, the master number, but it all has to do with the human spine. The I-35 is a metaphorical human spine. So could the Mississippi River be as well. And that's what I show in my video. And I started the excerpt with the bridge collapse in Minneapolis. That was on the I-35, and the symbolism there is very deep, and it has to do with Kabbalah, the twin pillars of Kabbalah, Geburah and Hesed, which again is also along the lines of the hemispheres of the brain, the twin pillars of Solomon's temple. That's what the symbolism is, and the bridge connects the left pillar to the middle pillar. In Kabbalah, that's the middle path, and they were collapsing the middle path, which is the same ritual as collapsing Building 7, which is the middle path between the Twin Towers on 9/11. So Building 7 is another spine metaphor, but they collapsed it, and the collapse of the I-35 bridge in Minneapolis, that was the same, I guess it had the same purpose, the same message was sent, the same sorcery, I guess the same intention, and the imagery is the same. Is the middle path, the bridge between the left and right pillar is being collapsed. That's preventing the elevation of human consciousness. That's what the bridge collapse at I-35. But I-35 is the spine, and Minneapolis. That's why Minneapolis. Many of these kind of incidents will happen in Minneapolis, and I believe that what's happening now, the latest one, Minneapolis will be in the news because it's constantly in the news. They didn't end with George Floyd, and this is going to become more and more significant, and Minneapolis will be the center of it. And so my video goes into the reason that Minneapolis is such an esoteric center and the heartbeat of major, highly emotive and socially and politically significant events. Why I put that in the subtitle, why Minneapolis, and I explained that in my video. So that's it in a nutshell. What the video will be like 25 minutes or so. It'll be a 25-minute video. Yeah.
And Rambo, remember the thing that happened right before this that I touched on in my videos was the uploading of 10 more videos to the Heliofont iPad Go 2 channel.
Oh, okay.
And he shows himself on a river looking at the St. Lawrence River and seeing the bridge. So there was and I showed how that was posted on the Golden Gate Bridge's 93rd anniversary of its construction beginning, and the Golden Gate Bridge equals 93. And then the night before, or that same night, the WWE had a Stranger Things inspired episode, which the second to last episode of Stranger Things is called The Bridge. And funny enough, the character that fought on that show that night, again, the same night as that was on the 5th, that they posted those videos to Heliofont, and then the wrestling show. The guy Braun Breaker from The Vision, I've talked about that group continuously recently with the Paul stuff. Logan Paul's on that group. But yeah, the guy from that group, the leader of that group is Braun Breaker. All you got to do is type in Braun and it's translated to Swedish. It means the bridge. Braun literally translates to the bridge. There's even a Swedish movie called The Bridge, which also is called Braun. So yeah, that same night you had Stranger Things, which connects to the bridge episode. You got a guy named Braun, which is the bridge. And then you have Heliofont posting these videos where you see the clock tower, and it looks like the same clock tower from the same scene. I guess I can pull it up real fast so you guys can see it real fast, but it looks like the same scene from the actual iPet Goat video. And then let's see. Yeah, so it was 93 years, and of course Minnesota is connected to 93. If you guys don't, I mean, most people in the gematria community know Minnesota has a lot of 93 connections. It's on the 93rd meridian, right? And then Minneapolis, Minnesota, I think 93. So that's interesting considering this happened just a few days before this Minnesota stuff. But he sews the bridge. The bridge equals the Golden Gate Bridge. It was also exactly 93 weeks after the Francis Scott Key collapse. So that's what made it pretty obvious. It was 93 after the Golden Gate construction began and exactly 93 weeks after the bridge collapse of Francis Scott Key. That was also 1 year, 9 months, 11 days. But yeah, he posted these. He actually took one off now. But the reason he posted 10 extra videos, including it made his total 11, which again is the main character of Stranger Things. And she's all about the bridge. She opens up the bridge in the Stranger Things movie. But now he's taken one off and he has 10, which is interesting. But yeah, if you just go down here, here's the Braun breaker. If Braun equals the bridge. And then again, the movie, the last episode, second to last episode was the bridge. And then just to show one last thing, this is the scene from iPet Goat, which is the clock tower with the two towers falling, twin cities, twin towers. Then you have the clock tower over here in the scene, and then same scene over here, except for this time you have the bridge where the twin towers are, which connects to what you were just saying all about the bridge collapse. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in there because this whole thing happened just 2 days before this Minnesota thing, and you just mentioned the bridge, so it fits perfectly to this whole. And then funny enough too is the whole thing, he shows ice in his videos, right? And there's ice in the river. He's showing ice with a police boat in it in the iPet Goat videos. And of course, this happened on 1/7. Ice equals 17, and so does kill and shooting. And Minneapolis equals 170. Ice agent 170. But they actually synced this up with another wrestling company, AEW, and check this out. This guy named John Good. His name is John Moxley in AEW. He used to be with Roman Reigns in WWE, but he's part of the Death Riders, and that equals 107. Happened 10 weeks, 7 days after ICE was founded. But check this out. The guy's name is Jonathan Good. His wife's name, after she married him, is Renee Good. So she has the exact same name as the victim. And look how old John Moxley was, or Jonathan Good was on this shooting, 14641 days. And that just happens to be the gematria of Renee Nicole Good, 146. He was 146 forward and backwards. So his date was perfect. And then we find out that John Moxley equals Minnesota in multiple ciphers. That's his stage name, John Moxley. Renee Good equals 38, like John Moxley. Jonathan Good, his name equals ice shooting in 3 ciphers. This happened 32 days after his birthday, when water freezes and it's transmuted at 32. It becomes a solid. So it's like spirit going into matter. 32 days after Jonathan Good's birthday. Again, his wife's name is Renee Good. A little skull and bone stuff there. 83, 572 days after Pluto's return. So this was Pluto's birthday was America's Pluto's return date. happened 572 days after that, which is Skull and Bones. But yeah, Death Riders, the group this actually connects back to that iPet Goat stuff. 111 and 57. And then this was the crazy one, 159. Her poem that she wrote, it sums to 159, dissecting pigs, or whatever the full name of that is. But yeah, it equals 159, like Donald Trump. This happened 159 days before Trump's birthday. iPet Goat 2 equals 159. And this is the kicker. The night of the ICE shooting, John Moxley, Jonathan Good, whose wife's name is, again, Renee Good, he had a match, of course, that same night against a guy who went to the University of Minnesota.
Wow.
And this is the real kicker, is the announcer. There's a very famous announcer in WWE history, and now he works for AEW. His name is Good Old JR. And Good Old JR just happened to make his return to announce this match with Jonathan Good the night that Renee Good was shot. Because Good Old JR has a lot of health problems. He's old now, but he just happens to return this night. And this is the kicker. I was doing a live stream on this, and they hadn't released the name of the shooter yet. And guess what the name of the shooter is, guys?
Yep, Jonathan.
It was Jonathan.
Yep.
Like, I found that live on stream, guys.
Yeah.
I was decoding Jonathan Good, and shout out to Gematrinator, who we both saw this pattern, because Gematrinator also knows a lot about wrestling. He knew the name of Jonathan Good and Renee Good. But yeah, and guess what the last name of the shooter is? His first name is Jonathan, like the wrestler here. The last name is Ross, right? Well, guess what the name of Good Old JR, the announcer, guess what his last name is? Ross. I mean, is that not you guys, like, come on. Like, is that not like, and I find this out live on stream. And look at this, even the Gematria, they called this the Continental Eliminator match. This is the match that he was in. They called it that. Continental title eliminator match equals 354 in ordinal, and Minneapolis and shooting both have that 354 in Jewish. So yeah, that's my spiel on the Minneapolis thing. I have other things to talk about later, but I just wanted to bring that up, especially about the bridge with what you mentioned, Rambo.
Yeah, the other stuff was mind blowing. All the JR stuff, Jonathan Ross.
Yep, they clearly synced that up with this wrestler. I mean, it's so clear. It's so clear. It's like no doubt about it, especially when they released the shooter's name. Like,
I was just going to throw in here, shout out to King Bags, mentioned it twice in the comments already. I didn't know this. I just Googled it myself. Caleb Williams, the quarterback of the Bears, right? His nickname is the Iceman. So interesting. Really? Interesting timing for the Bears to be doing their thing right now. And especially tying it right back into your points, Rambo, about George Floyd. Let's not forget that he was killed on the corner of 38th Avenue, big murder number, and Chicago Avenue, right?
Yeah, another thing, I don't know, I could kind of rewind the video, but if you'll see on the Dante Wright, I talked about the Dante Wright shooting. I want to see if I can find that part of the video. He was pictured across the media wearing a shirt that said Chicago on it. So a cap and a shirt.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I missed that.
Yeah, it is a big part of the, I mean, something that really stood out the first time I saw this. So this was Dante Wright, who shot in the same way. He's in the seat being shot at. Again, he's in a suburb of Minneapolis. Yeah, Chicago was a big part of it. And it's not only in this pic, in other pictures, he always has Chicago. And again, yeah, George Floyd. Again, he was his narrative took place on Chicago Avenue. Yeah, Chicago is, again, now the Pope is from Chicago.
Yep.
Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Chicago's Yeah, I'm talking about Minneapolis. You can't get away from Chicago either, can you?
Yeah, especially with the new pope from Chicago. And it reminds me of some of the stuff we've done on the movie Captive State, which took place in Chicago. And the main character, Rafe, his face is graffitied essentially all over brick walls, just like George Floyd's was, after his asphyxiation, so to speak. But King Bags also threw this out there just for a potential NFL future for the Super Bowl. The Bears versus the Patriots. That seems kind of fitting. I mean, the Bear representing Russia versus the Patriots, U.S. And let's not forget about all the stuff that we've talked about recently with the movie The Skulls. Caleb, right? Caleb. Now you got Caleb Williams and Drake May playing for the Patriots. So maybe that's it.
I've postulated that because of that's the perfect thing. If we're going purely Charlie Kirk Riddle and Pope Riddle for the Super Bowl, that's the best matchup in my opinion. But is that what they're going for fully? I don't know. But the Bears for sure are heavily. And yeah, this comment here, how about that? Drake's next album is titled Iceman. Wow.
Yeah, great addition, True Baller. Yeah, wow. Yeah, just a lot of this ice stuff to kick off the year.
So another thing, you brought up Captive State, the movie. Was the title character, wasn't he wearing a red hoodie?
He was. Yep.
Which is a symbol we've talked about a lot before. I mentioned how the Joker originally was called Red Hood. Then he changed to, which is pretty important trivia that many Joker people who know about the Joker aren't aware of. He started off as Red Hood. We talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
But Renee Good was actually wearing a red hoodie. She didn't have the hoodie up, but yet she had a red hoodie underneath her, kind of like a flannel.
Yeah.
But yeah, the red hood she had a red hood.
And let's not forget about what happened in Charlotte, right? Cody's done extensive work on that story, the Red Hood, yeah.
Yeah, Red Hood seems to be, it is clearly a significant symbol. Also, we have a red scarf is related to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Red hoods, red scarves, red bandanas.
Yeah, I mean, even the University of Minnesota has kind of that mahogany color.
It seems to be a sacrificial symbol. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
It means, yeah.
So if we don't mind pivoting a little bit, it's actually going to flow in perfectly with kind of what I had next ready to present. We also have a guest appearance. Kind of what I had next ready to present. We also have a guest. Hey, Sean, I'm going to mute you, brother. Sean Desad, everybody, Widow's son. Thanks for jumping in, Sean. Really appreciate it, man. I'm excited to have you hop in for a little bit to kind of help further build on some of the things that I had ready to present today. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see.
I'm glad we could finally get Sean on here, man. It's nice.
Yeah, before we dive in, Sean, can you hear me okay? Sorry, I heard some reverb, so I had to mute you.
On here, man. It's nice.
Yeah, before we dive in, Sean, can you hear me okay? Sorry,
I think he's watching the stream.
Yeah, no, I know he's watching, but maybe I'll text him. Let's see. Mute your YouTube video, brother. But anyways, yeah, this is going to segue very well just into what Rambo and Cody have already touched on. Obviously, the biggest story of the week essentially was that shooting of it's Renee Nicole Good, right, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I did a video on my Instagram. You guys should go check it out. Essentially breaking down that this story happened the same day that Trey Young, also known as Ice Trey, was traded to Washington, D.C., of all places, right? And I don't remember exactly who kind of clued me in on this piece. Whoever it was, you know who you are. But hey, Sean, can you hear me? On this piece, whoever it was, you know who you are. But
can you hear us?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I can hear it through his speaker.
I mean, it doesn't seem like he can hear us.
Sean, hello.
Does he know he's on?
I thought he did.
Huh. And he doesn't act like he's out. He even knows he's on stream.
I'm going to text him. Hold on a second. Come back in. Yeah, we'll see Sean back in a second. Sorry, what were we just talking about? Ice Trae Young. What are the odds that he gets traded to Washington the same day that we have this ice shooting take place in Minnesota? Let's see if this works second time. Hey, Sean, can you hear us? It's weird because I can hear him. Or I can at least hear the background, but...
Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, he's come on my streams a lot.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Reverb?
No more.
Ah, nice.
Okay. All right, we're good. Well, hey, welcome, Sean. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I was just letting the audience know that a lot of what I had to share, you have a lot more that you can add on to it. So knowing that you were off work today, I appreciate you jumping in to kind of help throw your 2 cents into the mix. And for those that aren't familiar with Sean, Widow's son, hey, Sean, remind me again what your YouTube handle is really quick. The Widow's son.
Just Widow's son. Yeah.
Wasn't it 107 or something?
Yeah, there's oh yeah, 1017.
1017.
I'll share the link later.
Yeah, I just pinned it as well, but it is covering your face. So really quick, you guys, please make sure that you guys are subscribing to Sean, Widow's son, 1017 on YouTube. He does phenomenal work and a dear friend of mine. So really appreciate you jumping on, Sean.
I appreciate it too. I had to capitalize on the opportunity because I've been sad that I haven't been able to. I've been working every single time that you guys have had this, so I would have to catch up later. So this was the first time that I got it off, and then you happened to ask me if I was free. So I think it was definitely a sign that I needed to, take advantage.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what else you can add to kind of this riddle and question about the ice shooting and whatnot. Just to recap, once again, this ice shooting took place in Minnesota on the same day that Trae Young, also known as Ice Trae, was traded to Washington, D.C., kind of tying right back to the ICE agents. But whoever clued me in on this, just so you guys know, Vanilla Ice rapped the song Ice Ice Baby at a New Year's party at Trump's Mar-a-Lago just a week before this ICE shooting. So talk about predictive programming. I took a few minutes to just kind of re-listen to the song and reread the lyrics, and I had no idea how much this song is related to shooting. I mean, even like looking at his hat, it almost looks like a Cupid holding a gun. But some of the lines in this song is Shay with a gauge and Vanilla with a 9. Gunshots raged out like a bell. I grabbed my 9 and all I heard were shells. Right? And it's just so fitting. It's so perfect with Trae Young and this song as well. Because at the very end of the song, it's Ice Ice Baby, too cold, right? That's how the song ends. And sure enough, Trae Young, aka Ice Trae, that's kind of his signature pose, so to speak. Every time he hits a big shot or whatever, he'll rub his shoulders, saying, "I'm too cold, I'm too cold." So I just thought that just fit in perfectly with the timing of the shooting, the Trae Young trade, and Ice Ice Baby performing at Mar-a-Lago the week prior. And to kind of pivot again really quick, I just wanted to throw this out to you, KODI, as well. I know you've done a bit of work on the power outages that have been going on in San Francisco. If you guys take a look at what happened in the NFL this past weekend, the 49ers lost a big player, George Kittle, but they emphasized the word energy. The Niners carried his energy to win the game. And this is going to steer right back to Minnesota in a second. especially with ice cream, right? Sean, you were kind of pointing out to me about this ice cream connection. But sure enough, in San Francisco, with all these power outages, you have a story about an ice cream shop owner that lost thousands of dollars because of the outage. But tying it right back to Minnesota, you guys, if you guys haven't seen Mighty Ducks D2, I strongly recommend that you do, because the whole story of the Mighty Ducks begins in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this other half here, and maybe I'll pass it off to you, Sean, if you want to kind of add anything else before I share just some of the opening scenes of the movie. But you're the one that sent this to me, Sean, pointing out this scene from the movie, The Ice Cream with the Enemy, right? So maybe I'll let you kind of set the stage for that. Now I can't hear you. Hold on. I think you're muted.
Okay. I was muted. So yeah, I just noticed a lot of things that were going on, like the shooting of Renee Good, and then KODI, he did the decode on Greenland, and then so I was thinking about this. That was like 2 days. The movie released 2 days after the ICE shooting, and so I was thinking about the like the ICE and Greenland connection because of this scene here. It just stuck with me because, for one, I know that you guys have been talking about Mighty Ducks since Charlie Kirk, and that was in September. And almost every stream, I think you've been able to find something pretty relevant with Mighty Ducks, at least with Ducks, and something that's been going on up until this point. And then I remember this scene. So Coach Bombay, he ends up going on an ice cream date with, I think it's the daughter of the head coach of the opposing team, which is Iceland. Like Iceland, they're the villain team of the movie, and he does it in secret. And I remember specifically and this is like something that's helped me remember the difference between Iceland and Greenland, because when they panned to them, he said, "Wait a minute, I thought Iceland was full of ice." And then she says, "No, Iceland is very green." And he's like, "I thought Greenland was green." And she said, "No, Greenland is full of ice and Iceland is very nice or very green." So I always knew about that, like that dichotomy, I guess, with Iceland and Greenland. And I thought it was really interesting how that was like right around the time with the ice shooting and then the release of the movie Greenland. And then I realized, so she says, right after that, she says, "I imagine that it would be where you're from in Minneapolis." And I was like, oh shoot, that's where the ice shooting took place. And then it also hit me because the people who caught them from the Ducks team, they're the Bash brothers, which were like the twins, like the tall players who they were basically like the Twin Towers. So there was already, they already admitted it, the connection with Minneapolis, but then they emphasized it even more with the Bash brothers being the ones to catch them on this date. And after that, I noticed some other connections, like with what Rambo was talking about last week, with the females, like taking over the position of the male, like that whole thing with the vice president taking over the position of Maduro and Veep and Kamala. So for one, they're on this ice cream date, and if you remember, okay, so when Biden announced that he was dropping out of the race, so Kamala would take over, that was National Ice Cream Day. I remember that. But then before that, or in the movie, sorry. So in the movie, there is a part, AJ, do you have like a snippet of a screenshot of it? There's a part, the female coach, I think she's the assistant coach. But
or maybe the tutor.
Oh, the tutor. Sorry, there you go. She's the tutor. And so if you're not familiar with the movie, so Coach Bombay, like he becomes like really, he starts getting caught up in, you know, all the sponsorships, and he starts selling himself out, and then he becomes like a big like coach in like kind of like a celebrity coach, and it gets to his head, and he ends up like not showing up for a game, and she replaces him for a like I don't even think it was the whole period, but she replaces him for the beginning of the game.
That's right. I remember that. I'm still going back watching through this movie. I'm about 30 minutes in, but I do remember that. Yeah, she actually does step in briefly as the head coach.
Yeah. So that I was like, okay, that it's almost like just all the stories, like even though that Venezuela story it wasn't connected to the ICE shooting with Renee Good. It's all still, there's like a underlying connection with pretty much like migration, immigration and all that. Cause you think about green card, like Greenland, you need a green card to migrate. And can you just, so maybe we'll look it up at the end, but anyways, just to finish off the last note. So another part of the movie at the very end, to go on or to add on to the female replacing the male. So Cody, I forgot to bring this up to you, but or maybe I did, but the goalkeeper do you remember what happens at the very end, Cody? At the very end of the movie, the female goalkeeper takes place of Goldberg, the main goalkeeper, and they win the game. She wins it for them.
Yeah. I remember that part. What was that girl's name? I can't remember her name now, but yeah, I remember that there was that whole thing between Goldberg and her, and then she ends up taking over for him.
Yeah, so it's like super emphasized, like in both of those situations. So it's like you have that with the Venezuela situation, the female vice president taking over, then like the Greenland Iceland connection with the Greenland movie coming out 2 days after the ICE shooting. And then I guess if you could real quick, just finish off, AJ, can you just look up the movie Immigration that I showed you? I mean, Migration with,
Migration. Yeah.
Just bring that up real quick.
But that's a great point, Sean, because there's two different times in D2 Mighty Ducks. And don't forget, this is the first time that the Mighty Ducks are actually dressed up for like playing for the United States, right? So there's that kind of patriotic symbolism there. But yeah, let me just get my screen up here. Hold on a second. Here we go.
Yeah, so there you go. And then again, just in case people weren't aware, the movie Greenland, which came out 2 days after the ICE shooting, is called Migration as well, right?
Yeah.
Like Greenland Migration.
Yeah, and like you said, the green card, the green is the heart chakra, right? All those things. Yeah. Someone in the chat just asked, hold on a second. Let's see. D2 Mighty Ducks girl goalie.
Yeah, Julie.
Julie the cat. Someone in the comments asked us, was she from Iceland as well?
No, she was from Maine.
She was from Maine? Okay.
Yeah. But another thing that I just thought about when Cody was bringing up all the JR stuff, which adds on to the movie even more because it's a junior hockey tournament.
Right.
And JR junior.
Oh yeah. I just realized that.
And yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that it's the Olympics or the Junior Olympics in Los Angeles, I think it was taking place in Los Angeles. That could be pointing maybe to the Olympics coming up in Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, that's a great point as well. There's also still another LA team that's still in the hunt for the Super Bowl as well.
And can I share my screen real quick just to share like just a synchronicity, like cool synchronicity, and I'll share it back.
I just need the request. There we go.
So again, this is the kind of stuff that we did not plan this. I literally found this out 5 seconds ago because it was downloaded in my head. And then I was like, I wonder, so you guys see this, Mighty Ducks D2. And
yep.
So keep in mind that it was released on this date, March 25th, 1994. So keep in mind that this is the 1397th prime is this, right?
Okay.
So try to guess how many days from the movie to today it is.
If it's that, it's gonna. Oh my god,
dude, what?
So one more time. One more time. The Mighty Ducks D2 is 1397. The 1397th prime is 11617. From the release of the Mighty Ducks to today is 11617 days.
Oh my god. This is the kind of stuff you guys like. Anytime I talk to Sean, it just,
dude, it's insane. Like I don't know.
Mind blowing.
No, this is my favorite thing. Like it's crazy. Oh my god.
And I know Cody, you can vouch for me on that. I mean,
how many times though have we done something where we've lined up with like? I mean, we've showed it plenty of times. I can't think of anything specifically off the top of my head, but I mean, leave it to Sean too to find this now. I mean, to see it right now, so we can share it right here on the stream. So,
and I seriously did not even know until after I was already backstage because I was kind of waiting and I was like, just kind of looking at some stuff, and then I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
What the heck?
Oh my god, man.
So maybe something significant might happen in the Ducks game today. They're playing the Stars. They're hosting the Dallas Stars.
Oh my gosh. The Stars.
And today is Rubber Ducky Day.
I think, but really? if this ties from the release of that movie till today, that should, I think we need to look at the Ducks game today. They're at home to Dallas. Yeah, so the game
they haven't won in 9 games. Interesting, right? They have not won. We need to go back and look at the last date they lost on because they have not won for 9 straight games, which means they probably haven't won for at least a month or close to a month.
It would be that underdog theme as well.
And don't forget too, like Rambo said, or like and like what you guys talked about, they're from Minnesota. The Dallas Stars are originally from, of course, Minnesota. This is the team that I believe Gordon Bombay played for. Is the Minnesota North Stars. So, and they had that green and yellow originally. But also, just to throw in the serious connection here, we know that the Polaris is the North Star and Minnesota is like the North Star state, but I believe there's a serious connection here too, because something I found out that I didn't know during my live stream about the shooting of Renee Good, and I tied it to Sirius because we just had the Venezuela thing, and I tied that to Sirius because the white horse on the flag represents Sirius. Well, come to find out, guess what was in the car with Renee Good? A dog. Are you kidding me? Huh. There was a dog in the car, man. And I didn't know this. I talked about Sirius, and I was like, I showed how the Minnesota has the Minnesota Timberwolves, which clearly shows the star in the sky, and the wolf, which is the Sirius is also known as the Wolf Star. But I had no idea there was a dog in the car. And the first video that came out was like recently in the last couple of days, showing the dog in the car, where you can clearly see it, because the first videos you can't see it. But the first video that come out that shows that is called Alpha, or the news media production that shared that originally, I guess, is called Alpha News. Well, the dog star Sirius, its real name is Alpha Canis Majoris. So they show the dog and they show it in Alpha News. And then we found out the biggest part of this is this Greenland connection. Greenland has a can I just share my screen for a second? Let's see.
Of course. You got it.
Greenland has, well, first of all, Vance came out and warned Greenland to take Trump seriously. That was the word in the headline, and that's the word he emphasized in the speech. And I had shown how Maduro was captured on a wolf moon by Trump, the fire dog, which is serious. And I had showed this, right? I had showed how Minnesota Timberwolves Tim Walz equals 32 like Sirius, like Star. But I didn't know there was a dog in the car, to add that extra layer of the dog star. And then, of course, Minnesota is always known with the star. It doesn't necessarily always say the North Star, but it says the Minnesota Star, But this is the big one, is there is a Greenland, I guess I didn't take a screenshot of it, but there is here's the badge for them right here. So Greenland has a special ops force called Sirius. And Trump even took a swing at them, saying all they have to protect Greenland is a dog sled group. But yeah, I mean, to bring all this together, I mean, Greenland has a military unit called Sirius. So, and since the beginning of the year, since the fire in Switzerland to start the year, Sirius, I mean, of course, Sirius is the New Year's star, but I'm just saying that this theme probably is continuing still if you followed it. We know how important Sirius is, but the group that burned themselves and burned their houses down and tried to go to Sirius was the group from Switzerland. So the whole year started out with that fire, and then ever since then we've had the fire ice rituals. But yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I did take a screenshot of the dog in the car, which if you switch to my screen real quick, I actually had that at the bottom of the video. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
There's a dog in the car. Now, so part of the symbolism there is, well, in the tropical zodiac, Sirius is in Cancer. That's not the same as astronomy or the sidereal zodiac, where Sirius is in Gemini, but in the tropical zodiac, Sirius is in Cancer. And the tarot card that represents the sign of Cancer is the Chariot. The Chariot often represents the sign of Cancer, the Chariot. So what this is symbolizing here is Sirius in the Chariot. The Chariot is Cancer. It's Sirius in Cancer. Using the tarot, if you understand the tarot symbolism, the Chariot is Cancer. That's the symbolism there.
Yeah, and Venezuela was founded one day. Their Independence Day is one day after the U.S.
Yeah. So
that would be Sirius in Cancer, right? So
yeah, and that's so. And July 5th, that's when you have 4th, 5th. That's when you have the perfect Sun Sirius conjunction. That's why that's why July 4th was picked for the Independence Day of the United States, because of the alignment with Sirius. And you can see how DC, I mean, you've pointed that out, how DC has the symbols of Sopdet, the hieroglyph of Sopdet, which is, it's a pentagram, a semicircle, which looks like a dome, a kind of pointed blade symbol, and an oval. And all four of those are represented. You have the ellipse, the White House ellipse is an oval, or the Oval Office. There's a pentagram in the street patterns of Washington, D.C. That could be the pentagram, or that could be the Pentagon. And then the blade symbol could be the Washington Monument, and the semicircle dome is the dome. That's the Capitol dome. Those are symbols of Sopdet. It's no coincidence you can have all four of those represented in the same city. One or two maybe, but four, yes, that's a direct reference to Sirius. And that's why July 4th was chosen for U.S. Independence Day, because of the Sirius Sun conjunction. That's when they say, metaphorically, that Sirius is the sun behind the sun. So we can't see Sirius because it's right behind. So they say that the sun is being powered by Sirius when it's in that position. So you're getting, because Earth depends on the sun for life. But when Sirius is behind the sun, because Sirius is, Earth is receiving more of, I guess, I don't know what you call it, the Sirius vibration or Sirius energy at that time. So yeah, so Venezuela. And also another thing too, when right after he shot into the vehicle, they have not verified whose voice it is. It seems to be this guy who shot. He says effing bitch. That's what he says. Now Sirius is a female dog. Sirius is a bitch. As a female dog, that's part of the ritual too. It's a reference to Sirius, because it's very important. Sirius is a female canine. When he says effing bitch, so there's some who venerate Sirius and some who desecrate Sirius. It's not the same. Like, there are different factions among the quote unquote elite. They're not all on one page necessarily. Some of them venerate Sirius, like the word sir comes from Sirius, veneration. But some of them also desecrate. I guess one quick example of a very famous Sirius desecration ritual is Elvis Presley's song Hound Dog. It's an anti-Sirius song. It says, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And it says, "You ain't never caught a rabbit." That's referring to the constellation of Lepus. They say that Sirius, the dog, is the dog of Orion the hunter. And right next to Canis Major is Lepus, is the hare, which is the rabbit. It's an eternal chase. Of course, the stars, they'll always be apart. So it's metaphorically an eternal chase. Sirius, the dog, is chasing the hare, Lepus. That's what Elvis Presley is talking about when he says, "You ain't never caught a rabbit." So some rituals, DC.
And Rambo, with the duck theme, that game Duck Hunt is the dog is always chasing the duck. Like, so there's the same theme with the dog chasing the duck and the dog chasing the rabbit.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, we have Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. Funny enough, I noticed when we brought up that D2 movie, that came out just days after Bad Bunny was born. Same month, just like 15 days after Bad Bunny was born. So I think there's something to that too, with the dog is always chasing the duck too. Because you think about duck hunters, they're always using dogs, that video game Duck Hunt, which I've talked about. So I think there's a similar theme with all this duck stuff also connecting to Sirius, because like I said, that game clearly shows the dog with the duck,
And think about the Mighty Ducks are an underdog story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also, in my video about the sandwich thrower, I also talked about the chase. The chase is a symbol. The guy threw the sandwich at the ICE officer outside the Subway sandwich in Washington, D.C., a city based on Sirius. A big part of that ritual was the chase. I mean, he looked very ritual. He was in better shape than the guy who threw the sandwich, much better physical condition than the agents themselves. He could have outrun him. He wouldn't have got far anyway, but the chase was a big part of it.
That's funny. That's funny you say that too, Rambo, because in the world of child stars recently, I don't know if you heard this story, but a Nickelodeon child star has been not looking too good, living on the streets in Los Angeles. His name is Tyler Chase. Kind of reminds me of Tyler Robinson being chased for 33 hours before he shot Charlie Kirk, the Ducks fan, right? But another child star who has been in recovery for several years, Sean Weiss, he plays Goldberg in the Mighty Ducks series, and he's been trying to help Tyler Chase in some of these latest stories. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. So one thing I was catching on to, which I think that is why there's a connection with the Ducks and like Sirius, because I think the symbol of Sirius, it's I think it's about that transformation. Like, I think that's why KODI in your decode, when you found when you included how like ice, it transforms at 32 degrees, right? And Sirius equals 32 for one. But like, even in the movie, okay, well, before I get to that, so it was interesting because I had, some people might have seen, but I made a post about the rapper Bad Baby, and so I was thinking about the aspect of bad, and then we had the situation with Renee Good like a few days after that. So I think it's about like that, our transformation from bad to good. Like it's kind of like the story of ourselves. Like I guess it's like the serious within ourselves, like going from bad to good, like overcoming all our beastly self. The serious is like the beastly nature, but because it's dog. But like even how that relates to the Stranger Things, KODI, like how you said that the upside down wasn't really it wasn't the opposite dimension, it was actually the bridge, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, the upside down, I guess we always thought most of the show, they always thought it was another dimension itself, but it was just the bridge to the abyss, which I showed how it connects to the Tree of Life, which has the Da'at, which is also the abyss, and it's the bridge over the abyss. So it was clearly connected to the Da'at, but that also connects to what you're saying with the transformation. That's how you on the Tree of Life, that's how you go from the top 3 to the bottom half of so that's the transmutation right there. That's going from, because at the top of the Tree of Life, you have the 3, you have the triangle shaped of the 3 Sephira, and then to cross the bridge, to cross the abyss, you go down to the lower half. So that's the same theme.
Yeah, and I think that's also the significance of the underdog story, because the underdog story isn't really anything unless the underdog conquers, and is victorious, or else they weren't really, like, that's the only way that it's an actual underdog story, if they actually win in the end. And in the Ducks, like, there's so many elements of the transformation. So for one, Coach Bombay, like I mentioned, he starts getting disillusioned by all the money and all like the fame. He becomes like a different person. They don't even recognize him. And then like halfway through the movie, and then he finds himself again. And even the team itself, they start as Team USA because of that very reason, because they don't start as the Ducks. They start as Team USA, and they become the Ducks at the very end. And then they go from, they didn't really start as the underdogs in that movie. They actually started pretty good, like they were winning. But then when they played against Iceland, because they played Iceland twice in the movie, and they lost the first time, they were killed. And then they became the underdogs, like the underdogs to Iceland, I guess. But then they ended up coming back to win in the end. But yeah, they went from Team USA, and then at the very end, they switched from Team USA to the Ducks. So there's another thing of transformation there. And then what AJ just mentioned with the aspect of Sean Weiss and Tyler Chase, like that's emphasized. The transformation thing is emphasized there because, like if you guys aren't aware of the goalie from Goldberg, he's notorious just for being like the big guy. Like that's just just out there in the open. And there were a lot of people, like throughout the years, started to see things were leaked about him going through a huge drug issue, and he got super skinny and he was unrecognizable, and he started to recover. And that's why now he's trying to help this other child star recover. So it's another thing of transformation. And I think that's, I think it really does have to do with this, like, this transformation thing, which could be symbolic of the transformation we're going to all go through, or even just within ourselves. But that, I think, the transformation element is, I feel like it's just like everywhere.
Yeah, no, those are great points, Sean. This is Sean Weiss, by the way, you guys, or Weiss. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but he played Goldberg in the Mighty Ducks series back in the day. You guys can see kind of his downfall, but also his rise again, right? So he's retransforming himself, and that's where he's trying to help this Tyler Chase child actor. I mean, this has been one of the biggest buzzing news stories over the last month, at least, all during the time of, you know, the Ducks symbolism that we keep touching on. There was one thing I wanted to touch on really quick before I kind of just wrap up the rest of my Duck stuff. Rambo, if you're still with us out there, shout out to Researcher. Going back to the dog themes in the Chariot really quick. Researcher says the DeLorean also has a dog in it. Mentions the DeLorean came back from the future frozen with ice all over it. It's a silver colored car, and ironically, silver hit an all-time high today at $88. That's an amazing addition, Researcher.
Well, the ice thing on the DeLorean is just mind-blowing if you think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, how it comes back. I mean, we'd already known that that's about Sirius, because he says we're going to see some serious stuff, but then, and the dog's name equals Sirius in gematria, but the fact that the DeLorean came back with ice on it, I totally forgot that part, and that just, wow. Because I talked about that in my stream, the connection to that, how Vance was saying you got to take Trump seriously, right? So, yeah, that's a great addition. And yeah, and to go with the duck theme real fast, I found a movie. Somebody in the chat mentioned this movie. I don't remember who it was in the chat, but thank you for that addition. Look at the name of this movie. It's called Good Dog. And it's about a dog who's a duck hunter. And you can see like the hands chasing I don't know if you guys see it, but the hands chasing the dog there.
Sorry, hold on. I got to add hold on a second. There we go.
So, yeah, somebody in the chat, again, I'm sorry I don't remember who you were, but he just put there's a movie out recently, and it is recently. Look, it's October 3rd was the United States release dates last year, so like literally just not within months. And it's about a young man suffering from lung disease. He's in Nova Scotia with his duck tolling retriever named Indy. Okay, wow. That's interesting.
No, then the dog, I think he just won an award like 2 days ago.
This dog?
Yeah, like he won the first animal to win an acting award 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Well, man, I need to look into this movie now.
Or I think it was on the 9th, but it was really recent.
Yeah, I'll look into that while you guys continue on. I'll look and see if I can find that article about this dog. But yeah, if that's true, also, I mean, wow, he became a star now. You know, the dog. He's won an award, became a star, the dog star, chasing the duck.
I knew about the movie, but the duck, I did not know about that duck part. That's insane.
Yeah. So I had to share that for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, thank you, Codes.
I forgot to mention too, like when you guys were bringing up the wolf, the villain of the movie, his name is Wolf Stanson as well. The head coach of the Iceland team.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten that far. Like I said, I'm only like 30 minutes in, but with everything we've been talking about, I think you guys will be amazed at just some of the symbolism here. You know, once again on the duck themes. So kind of like what Sean touched on, Coach Bombay kind of goes through his own transformation, because at first he gets very upset because he was inches away from making it to the NHL, and he goes down with a knee injury and was never able to recover. and then he ends up working for a law firm, and his boss's last name is Ducksworth. Ring any bells, anybody? Kendrick Lamar Duckworth calling out Drake, the male duck, in last year's Super Bowl. That blew my mind. This is like in the opening minutes of the movie. And yeah, so his former boss is at the Ducksworth law firm, right? And when they start doing tryouts for the USA team with all the kitty ducks in the first movie, we go back to what Sean touched on as far as kind of the Twin Towers piece. The Bash Brothers, I think that would be one of most viewers' favorite characters in the movie. But you have one Bash brother who was already a duck, and then you have the other Bash brother who becomes a duck, right? And ironically enough, this guy in the black, his name is Portman, kind of reminding of Portland and things that we've talked about there. But as Portman is just bullying all the kids during the tryout, Coach Bombay says, you know, this guy's a goon. And, you know, the guy who kind of signs him on to sponsor the team, he says, I believe they're called enforcers, Gordon, kind of like ICE agents, right? And he says, I believe they're called enforcers, Gordon. When you play Iceland, you're going to need him. And Fulton is the name of the other Bash brother in this movie, right? So right here you have Portman, and he doesn't know much about Fulton yet, the other Bash brother. And Fulton's whole superpower, if you guys aren't familiar with the movie, every kid kind of has their superpower, so to speak. One can skate really fast, one can hit the puck really hard, etc. But Fulton, his slap shot is like a bullet, essentially. And you'll notice here, Fulton gets the puck and he's cocking back to hit it, and all the ducks say, "Look out! It's Fulton! Look out for his shot!" Right? And Portman doesn't know anything about Fulton's shot yet until once he hits it, and then Portman kind of ducks, and then it hits off of the goalpost. And at the same time of this scene, this is who Sean was mentioning earlier, the tutor in the movie, right? And she actually ends up stepping in for Coach Bombay later in the movie. But as she's being introduced, she's talking to this other guy here. I forget his name, but she sees the puck coming and it's going really fast, like a bullet, right? And she says, duck, right? What did Donald Trump do when he got shot? He ducked, right? And the guy says, duck. That's right, the Ducks. And all of a sudden he turns around and he gets hit right in the face with a puck. I just thought that was very fitting with what we've seen transpire over the last year and a half or so, and also just the symbolism in the background, right? I mean, you got the kind of the skull and bones crossed hockey sticks. That's a very common theme you'll see in hockey. And Sean, I think you were saying this kind of looks a little bit like kind of the, you know, CV-19 kind of thing. I don't know. But I thought that was just really interesting. And kind of in closing, we've talked a lot about the horse symbolism. So this guy Portman, one of the kids is trying to become buddies with him. Hey, is that a tattoo? Is that real? And he says, get away from me. But I couldn't help but notice the whole time he's wearing a jersey that has a white horse on it. And in closing, just notice that since they're playing for Team USA, in order for them to retransform themselves, Coach Bombay essentially ties the whole team together and forces them to communicate. That way they can glide together. Ducks fly together, right? And you got the new one, Portman, saying, all right, all of you, move to your right now. And then Fulton says, who made you boss? Everyone to the left. So it just makes me think about that, you know, red versus blue, right versus left, you know, patriotic, democratic kind of symbolism there going on with everything else. So that's all I really had to share. So I'll pass it back off to any of you guys.
There's another Duckworth, which I've talked about before. Well, actually, shout out one of my patrons, Cornell. He brought up Kevin Duckworth. If you go back to my screen,
yeah,
you'll see Kevin Duckworth. So that ties into the Portland thing. So he was actually he was drafted by the San Antonio Spurs, but he never played for the Spurs. This was in the 1986 draft, NBA. He never played for the Spurs. They traded him to Portland, to the Portland Trailblazers, before he could play. So while he was drafted by the Spurs, he played for the Trailblazers. That's Kevin Duckworth, and he was I think he was the 33rd overall, which is, I mean, 33 came up in the incident in Minnesota with Rene Good. They say that the JD Vance had said that the officer had previously been dragged by a car. There's some video of him being dragged by a car when he approached somebody who turned out to be legitimately illegal with a rap sheet. Like most of the people they round up are not criminal, but this one was, and dragged him. And they say that he received 33 stitches. But then again, he received 33 stitches again, supposedly, but in different places on his arms, a total of 33. And the first time JD Vance said he received 33 stitches on his leg, it was in between 34th and 33rd Street. So 33 was a factor there. But Kevin Duckworth of the Portland Trailblazers was drafted 33rd. Again, this is a shout out to Cornell, one of my patrons. So yeah, it was Portland Street. It was with so the Portland connection, and there were 2 more ICE shootings in Portland. So Kevin Duckworth actually does tie these things. He also ties into Chicago, as Cornell had pointed out. Michael Jordan's he won in, was it 1988, the NBA final? It was against the Portland Trailblazers. And think of Portland, I think of Oregon, the home of Nike, and Michael Jordan as well, and all the Chicago Avenue stuff. So, and Michael Jordan's tied to Sirius, but this is the other significant Duckworth who does tie in on multiple levels.
It's interesting that he also died in Oregon, from the screen that you're sharing here, home of the Ducks, right? The Oregon Ducks. If you look at where he died, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, we're just going back to one of the Bash brothers, Portman, right? It was like pretty much right after they mentioned Ducksworth here in this movie. One of the next scenes, you got Portman, the Bash brother, coming into the scene. You know, kind of ties right back in with what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Portland Trailblazers and their Duckworth. Yeah.
Well, not only was this guy born or died in Oregon, he was born near Chicago. So this is like Charlie Kirk connection here. Seems like
the Oregon Ducks fan
for some reason.
Yeah, right. I still haven't been able to get somebody to clarify that for me, why he was such a Ducks fan. But
this is also something I was thinking about with like when Rambo like brought up the symbolism of Charlie Kirk and the circle, and then you guys were talking about this connection with Charlie Kirk and the Ducks. Like I was thinking about how you play that game Duck Duck Goose, right? And you sit in a circle. I was thinking about that today, but I just thought that was interesting.
Well, we had Rambo. Didn't you mention something about the goose like last week or maybe the week prior, and just those connections with the duck?
Oh yeah, that was the. I can actually. I'll let me see if I can bring up. It's the constellation that so there are 3 birds in the duck family. So it's the duck, the goose, and the swan. And what I was bringing up was this constellation here, Cygnus. So yes, so Cygnus is the swan. And I brought it up because, it's not really giving me a broader view, but Cygnus is the swan, and it is near. Right, this is all zeroed in. If you get a wider look here, because it's actually next to the pole star, which is on the tail of the little bear, which is Ursa Minor, of course. Yeah, I'm looking for a nice wide screen so you could get the connection. Let's see, Ursa Minor.
Yeah, I know True Baller's been listening because he mentions that was the dragon connection with the web feet that you touched on.
Yes, and Draco. That's why I was hoping I could get a. It takes a while to find images, like the right. So it'll show all of them. Okay, well here's some. Okay, you can see Draco. That's the dragon. It's not the web feet. It's the three toes, the three-toed feet. That's Draco. So dragons, Draco, reptilians. That's another thing too. There was a Draco reptilian figure at the scene of the shooting of Rene Good. Did you guys catch that?
I don't think I did.
I can look it up, but so Draco is I think this might be a reference to is so what the reptilian has in common with the goose and the duck and the swan is the three toes. They're all three-toed. And there's a hand sign, Secret Society hand sign. It's been done in official portraits and by modern day various figures. Kendrick Lamar does it, the West Coast thing where he puts the two middle fingers together and then the flanking fingers are separated to make like a W. That's related to the three toes of Draco. It's also the three toes of the swan Cygnus, which is nearby. But it's also Cassiopeia, and it's really hard to find a screenshot. Okay, maybe this will do it. It shows all of these things here. Yeah, this is too small, but here here's Draco's here. Here's Cassiopeia. You can't really see it, but I don't know if you can you tell there's a W here? This right here is a W. That's also related to that sign that they make with their hand. It's a W. It's Cassiopeia. They're all together. This is right by the little bear, which is the cub. He was a Cub fan. Urso Major is the big bear. He's a Bears fan. This is the little bear. This is the big bear. The turning point is the Polaris, this is the point around which the here's Ursa Minor. It's right here. The point around which the northern stars rotate is Polaris. That's why it's called Turning Points, USA. All that Charlie Kirk symbolism is here in the northern sky. Polaris is the turning point. It's on the tail of the cub. He's a Cub fan. There's the big bear, Ursa Major, the big fan. I mean, the big cub. And then you can't see Cygnus, but Cygnus is with the duck family. It's right above here. And over here, you see the home plate shape. That's Cepheus the King, CK. I talked about how he was shot at a location with a home plate symbolism. That's it. It's here. This is the home plate symbolism. And there's a baseball field in the background behind that as well. An actual home plate and a baseball diamond behind the area Charlie Kirk got shot. And it's Cepheus the King. That's what that is. CK. All this is the northern sky is coded into the Charlie Kirk narrative. And the biggest one is the turning point. But
Rambo, really quick, before I let this one slip past the cracks, shout out to JM27. Oh my goodness, I did not know about this. Did you guys know that there's an Illinois senator named Tammy Duckworth?
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah,
and she replaced Mark Kirk. I mean, if you had touched on that already, Rambo, I apologize, but that's freaking mind blowing.
No, I did not know that he replaced Kirk. Okay, that part I didn't know. I know about Tammy Duckworth. I did not know about the Kirk thing.
Yeah, so Tammy Duckworth is now a senator for Illinois who beat Mark Kirk for that seat. Wow. Thank you for adding that to the mix, JM2. That's a big one.
And I don't know if anyone saw, but that famous ESPN guy, Stephen A. Smith, he just said accidentally. Yeah. So he supposedly accidentally said Charlie Kirk caught 8 passes for 100 and however many yards it was. Did you guys see that?
I saw that, yeah.
I mean,
and then what? Yeah, one of the other talking heads had to be like Christian Kirk. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what I meant. No.
Here it is. On March 30th, 2015, Duckworth announced that she would challenge incumbent Republican U.S. Senator Mark Kirk.
Come on, guys. Thank you again, JM, for adding that one.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, this isn't some random senator in Idaho, you know, Illinois.
Yeah, no disrespect to Idaho, but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the odds still would have been crazy, even if it was just any seat in Congress. But the fact that it's Illinois.
yeah, I can actually find that reptilian image, which is pretty astonishing. But I'd have to flip through my screenshots.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can add stuff while I'm looking.
Yeah, and
so many.
Cody, really quick, you have the keys to the car, right? You can add your own screen and whatnot. I just got to step out for a second.
Yeah. I'll just share this dog thing for a second.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
So, just to verify what we're talking about, this dog from this movie. Well, yeah, just to go back to that, the Good Boy movie. The duck hunter. I mean, somehow this ties into all my Indianapolis stuff. Interestingly, the dog's name is Indy, but yeah, it's a golden retriever, a duck tolling retriever from Nova Scotia, which again is Canada. So we have that connection. But this dog actor, I guess his real name is actually Indy. He won the award for best horror or best actor in this movie. I'm not sure. Let's see when this was. Oh, this was just this was just published on the 11th. So this is like recent. Wow. So there you go, guys. That's just more let's see here. And I found it interesting too that if you type in good boy, it equals football, but it also equals bad bunny. So you have good boy, the dog, and the bad bunny. Huh.
Oh, well.
Might be like the chase symbolism again, the bad bunny that's running away. Or the bad bunny that's running down the rabbit hole, right? Because in the Stranger Things, you also have they paralleled the villain of that show. They paralleled him with the rabbit. He actually Vecna, the villain, he becomes the white rabbit. So kind of like the bad bunny. He's the bad guy and he's the bunny. So I think that's another interesting piece too, with the Super Bowl also featuring Bad Bunny. Sean, did you have something?
Oh no, I was just gonna mention that he won the award on the 10th. So yeah, like 3 days ago.
Okay, on the 10th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was
that's pretty interesting. So that was like a span of 8,888 days after 9/11, which is kind of interesting because you have that connection with Back to the Future and the 88 miles per hour, and so it's pretty interesting that a dog happened to win on that day.
Yeah, that's a good point. The 8888 days, because that's like the 88s, and then that goes back to the dog from Back to the Future, and but yeah, that was also
the date was technically I guess like most of the world could write the date as 10/1, right? 10/1/101, like the series code.
Yeah, and that was the day that the other story this week that we just didn't.
Oh, I just realized. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, this is perfect. So, I guess maybe can I share real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on a second. Okay, you're up there.
So yeah, so this date here, 110 could be written. All right, let me make it bigger. Sorry. Yeah, so this date here could be January 10th, 1/10/26, but most of the world could write that as 10/1/26, right? Like the 10th of January.
Yeah.
And for one, well, yeah, because again, like Casey Jones and Rambo, they talk about how the 101 is is serious, but also 101 is the 26 prime, and 26 equals dog.
Yeah, and then in the year 26.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually pretty coded when you think about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with the dog equaling 26 and God, of course, the God dog connection.
And I think that again that kind of ties into that transformation thing that I was talking about with like I guess if you're I guess just looking at it from the Gnostic perspective, like that's kind of the that's what the whole journey really is about, like finding your going from beast to divine, and so that's why dog is the opposite of God.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the beast is your meat suit, your body. That's the beast, and then the spirit is the water or the transmutation from that solid beast suit that you were contained in to the actual spiritual, the water, the flow. That's kind of the symbolism, I think, the transmutation.
It's funny you bring that up, Cody, because I got this in the mail not too long ago. It's Frank the Bunny, and it says, "Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?"
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the most important line of the movie.
Yeah, in the movie theater.
So it's like I think it's like about like in the Bible, it talks about overcoming the flesh.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So another 101 in Gematria is Da'ath, Daath. That's the 11th Sephiroth, the hidden Sephiroth. That's the one that's the bridge that KODI was talking about. That's the huge symbolism of the bridge collapse in Minneapolis. Because it's the twin cities and the bridge between the twins collapsing. So Da'ath is another 101. And
that equals 101, Rambo?
Yeah, in DAA.
Okay,
DAATH, yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah,
it also has the 34, which Sirius is the 595 code, and that's the 34th triangular number? Or is that the Fibonacci?
Yeah, it's the 34th. Yeah, 595 is the 34th triangular number.
Yeah. So, and then remember they said that this shooting in Minnesota was on 33rd to 34th Street, right? It was in between. Yep. So I think that's another connection with the 34. But yeah, the 101 is there. And it's interesting because I covered this, but the same day this happened, you had the death of Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, right? So, and then this probably all ties together somehow more with the Grateful Dead, but their symbol is the bear. They have the bears. If you look up this, the Grateful Dead have the dancing bears. But yeah, Bob Weir, he ties his last performance was at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and it was on Tisha B'Av. And he died on the esoteric 9th day of the 11th month. Because think about it, January is actually the 11th month. He died on the 9th. Or no, his last day alive. Sorry, his last day alive on Earth was on the 9th day of the 11th month. That would be January 9th. And again, on the calendar, on the Jewish calendar, his last performance was on the 9th day of the 11th month, Tisha B'Av. And he performed at the Golden Gate Park. Again, this is also about the Golden Gate coming into reality, out of reality, like the Golden Silver Gate. Somebody had just said that silver hit 88 today. So we have this transmutation type symbolism again. So everything really goes back to that. Incarnating and, like what Rambo's talked about many times. So this whole thing with Bob Weir is super deep as well. I covered that a bit, but I mainly covered how that connects to XRP, the cryptocurrency, because that's the theme I've covered so many times. But there's also this theme of the Golden Gate, the Silver Gate.
Yeah, so again, the Golden Gate is the metaphorical portal from the material plane to the spirit plane.
Right. So again, like
Yeah.
an ascension, like the bridge
Yeah.
to the, over the abyss, or the bridge into the, so that's right. It's the same symbolism.
Yeah, so like you talked about ice, you could see that as physical, and water is closer to the spiritual. And that would be a Golden Gate going from ice to water. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
we just had the time, where we passed through in December, where the Golden Gate is very significant, where Pope Francis' birthday is actually on that day, December 17th. I think they say that's the day. What is it? The day that the Golden Gate is
the
closest, something like that, with the Golden. Do you know what that is, Rambo? On the 17th through the 18th, it's like a day where the Golden Gate is connected.
When the sun passes through?
Right. Something like that. Yeah. That's what Bobby Simpson has told me. I just can never remember exactly what it was, but something with the sun passing through the Golden Gate.
Yeah, usually, it's during Sagittarius. So the metaphorical Golden Gate in astrology, it's the point between Earth and the center point around which the Milky Way galaxy rotates. So that center point between that and Earth is a metaphorical Golden Gate. That's in astrology.
I think there might be pictures of it. Well, maybe not. But yeah, I think that's a lot of the reason why we've had also a lot of bridge symbolism, and which ties into the Stranger Things clearly had that, and then and I forgot to mention too, the Braun Breaker, his whole thing is the dog, right? Like they bark at him, like when he comes out. And again, his name Braun is the bridge, so his name literally translates to the bridge breaker, and then he's the dog, right? And I've showed that multiple times, but that's just another point to reiterate. So, and shout out to Casey Jones is here. He's the one that has shared a lot of this with us. So shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out Casey Jones. Make sure you guys are giving him a subscribe as well. I was just going to point out too, pretty obvious, but going back to what Rambo emphasized at the beginning of the stream, the Golden Gate Bridge is Twin Towers too.
Yeah, it's in my video. I have this in the video. I talk about the twin symbolism of the Golden Gate as well, and how it ties into Minneapolis. So I think Minneapolis is the Silver Gate, and San Francisco is the Golden Gate. Those are the two bridges. So that's in my video, which I'll talk about.
When's that releasing, by the way? For the Patreon followers?
Well, I would imagine, based on where I am in the editing process, it should be.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I was just curious.
No. Yeah, I don't see why I shouldn't have it done by 12 noon tomorrow.
Okay.
I think that's a realistic goal based on where I am in the editing process and my alertness at the moment. I wake up late, so yeah. I don't see why I shouldn't be able to put it out by. It should be a 25-minute. I actually have an image of the reptilian, which I told you about. That's at the scene of the shooting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, wasn't that? Yeah, I saw that. Now that you mentioned that, was there some sort of like dinosaur there or something? Weird dinosaur.
If you switch to my screen, it's not that clear. Hopefully, you can make it out. Well, there are two pictures here. Can you see this dinosaur?
Yeah.
Triceratops. So yeah, this is right at the scene of the shooting. And this is so weird. Why is this in someone's lawn? That's just weird. Why? I could see a snowman, some leftover from Christmas decorations. A snowman, a reindeer, Santa. But a dinosaur? That's weird. That is weird. There's nothing else out on the lawn. Like it's just a dinosaur in the middle of a neighborhood. This is a dinosaur on the lawn. It's a little. So this is Renee Good's wife when she's. I guess this must be from the cop's perspective. You can see the dinosaur behind it, a little closer look. And we were talking about the astronomy of Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point and Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, and the W, which is Cassiopeia, and Draco. Draco's right in the vicinity. So I think this is a reference to that, to Draco. And I'm sure there's a lot more to this, but that's one of them. Is that constellation of Draco. You can see all those constellations together in the northern sky. That's that's a reference to Draco. Well, a lot of this goes back to the stars. The dog is Sirius in the chariot. The chariot is Cancer. Sirius is in Cancer. It's not a coincidence. It's very astrological and astronomical symbolism that they're putting out.
That is so bizarre.
The T-Rex reminds me of Rex, like king. King is Rex in Latin, so this might be an issue, a connection there. But like, yeah, this is really weird. When I saw that, I thought I saw that in the original, or one of the original videos. I was like, is that a dinosaur? And somebody also showed there was like an upside down pentagram in somebody's window in this on the scene too. I don't know where that was, but I thought I saw that also, which is interesting.
I think about something interesting with dinosaurs, like, you know, when you were bringing up the information that your friend someone shared about the plasma event and like magenta and green. Was it magenta and green?
Yeah, it's a magenta / purple and green. Yeah, like the
that was making me think, because I was thinking about it today, and I was thinking about Barney, because that's literally like the colors of Barney.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that was starting to make me, and maybe this dinosaur thing might confirm kind of what I was thinking. But I was like, maybe like the plasma event, like maybe, you know, maybe dinosaurs were real, and maybe the plasma event is what took them out. And that's like a hint about it with the Barney and the green and magenta.
Yeah,
based on what your friend was sharing with you.
Look at Dr. Savage's comment here really quick. There's a replica of the Chicago T-Rex zoo at the Federal Reserve Bank of Minnesota.
Oh, King Bags' comment's really good too.
Yeah. This one, purple and green Joker, Sirius.
Oh yeah, nice.
But yeah, the other comment by Dr. Savage with the bank stuff, I wanted to mention that because if you look at the Mighty Ducks D2, you see 2 bubbles. In fact, if you look at the Mighty Ducks movies, you see lots of bubbles, bubble pops. This is a clear reference to markets.
You know what also goes back to? Shout out to you, Rambo. They Live. Yep. I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And he walks in. He says that walking into a bank. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, and but with the bubbles too, it's like in that movie, it says the duck or the puck stops here, which is a clear reference to more money symbolism. The buck stops here. The puck stops here. So you have not only, if you could bring up that picture of that.
What are you looking for?
Okay, I guess AJ got it. The puck stops here, right? And the 2 bubbles. So that's clear money market symbolism. Because we know that the phrase "the buck stops here" goes back to the money, the puck, the duck. So maybe the ducks also. And again, as I mentioned with Bob Weir's death just the other day, that was huge connection to the Federal Reserve. Trump's going after the Federal Reserve chair again, Jerome Powell, whose birthday is right before the Super Bowl. And I have a feeling that whenever this Jerome Powell thing finally gets resolved, whenever Trump finally pulls the trigger or whatever ends up going down between him and the Federal Reserve, we're going to get something. So like as somebody said, silver and gold are just absolutely, I mean, if you look at those charts, they're just absolutely and the stock markets, everything is blowing up, right? Everything is in a bubble. Let's put it that way.
And you also have the bill of the Ducks, like the bill of the
right,
Duck.
Yeah. And the bills, you know, they're in the playoffs and moving on. Possibly a Bills 49ers Super Bowl. It's that would be an O.J. Simpson thing. But that would also be a money symbolism, the gold rush connection. The Bob Weir died 1850 days after the Ripple song was posted. And 1850 is the year that San Francisco was founded, and the year basically of the gold rush, in the middle of the gold rush. So there's a lot of symbolism right now with that. But yeah, I just wanted to point out the D2, the puck stops here, the two bubbles. They haven't popped yet, though. They're still blown up. So.
See, I just thought there might be a connection with Ice Age. This is just, a little thought.
Yeah.
What I was bringing up was with that dinosaur there. If you switch to my screen, that dinosaur, it connects through the movie Ice Age, because one of their parts, it's several parts, I guess, is Dawn of the Dinosaurs and Ice Age. I just saw a connection. Not much beyond that. I mean, I did look at the plot. There's the elephant theme. It's like the Republican Party. It was released July 1st. This is the other 7/1. The shooting was on 1/7 or 7/1. January 1st, 7th January. This was released 7/1 or 1/7, July 1st or 1st July. But it's Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
You know what's interesting about that date, the 7/1. So go back to the release date.
Yeah.
7109. That's the 911th prime number.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is the 911th prime number.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, great catch. Amazing.
I was also thinking about AJ's love connection, because the main voice is Ray Romano, right?
Yeah, Ray Romano.
You have, Everybody Loves Raymond. And then we got Cody. Cody's middle name is Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an amazing find. The 911th prime number.
Yeah,
it's a great catch.
That was just trying to see if was that like the first Ice Age movie, or is that different?
No,
one?
this is I think this was the second one, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I only looked it up because of this
Me
incident.
neither.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is the first. Maybe it'll tell you here. Ice Age, American animated film produced by and distributed. Sequel to the Ice Age, The Meltdown. Meltdown was the first one.
Huh.
And the third installment. Oh, this is the third.
Well, that could maybe be connecting to the third temple, right? Like after the third temple.
So yeah, and that's very interesting you say that, because I've maintained that the World Trade Center was a symbolic temple of Solomon, with its signature feature is the twin pillars, and they spelled it out. Building 7 was called the Salomon Brothers because Salomon Brothers Investment Bank owned they occupied a good portion of Building 7. It was the Salomon Brothers. Salomon is Solomon in Latin. That's what this goes to. So symbolically, that could have been the third. And when was Solomon's temple destroyed? Even though the first one is not historically proven, nonetheless, it's said to have been destroyed on Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the 11th month. The second temple, which is historical, Rome used that same date, the 9th day of the 11th month of the Hebrew calendar, which is to destroy the second temple in Jerusalem, which is where you get the commemoration, the Jewish commemoration of Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is the commemoration of the destruction of the temples. And in the Latin cipher of Gematria, Tisha B'Av sums to 9/11. So 9/11, that's a very key code. The Nazis picked up on that code. That's why they did Kristallnacht on the 9th day of the 11th month, 9th November. That's why the Nazis attempted a coup, the beer hall push in Munich, an attempted coup by the Nazi party of the German government on the 9th day of the 11th month, 9th November. And then the Berlin Wall came down just to indicate that the Nazis, they're not going to call themselves Nazis, they still can't be in power, but they use their symbols, and their influence is still here, undeniably. The Berlin Wall fell, Germany unified on the 9th day of the 11th month. That's a Nazi code, but it goes back to Babylon and Rome. And so so this movie being released on on a date that lines up with the 911th prime. So 9/11 is coded to the date, which is amazing. Fine, I would have realized that. And now you mentioned Solomon's Temple. Maybe it is. Maybe it is pointing to the third temple, as you say.
I mean, it's Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and people think that Donald Trump will be helping to bring in the third temple. So maybe there's something that too.
But yeah, there was that dinosaur symbol there.
There's clear symbolism here too with dinosaur. So like ice is also very connected to financial system as well. There's like this event that has been spoken about that's called the Ice 9 event, where they'll freeze the bank accounts, right? Because of some event, and they'll freeze the bank accounts so people can't pull out their money. Kind of similar to the gold or the turning in of the gold, right? You'll have to turn in something to get something. But then the dinosaur thing could connect to they often say the dinosaur is also like the old system, like the dinosaur system is like the outdated way that the SWIFT system works, basically, to transfer money, because you have to wait a long time. If you transfer money to another country, it takes banks forever to get the money actually through. So it's old, it's slow, like ice is, right? It makes water slow down. So there's that symbolism there. And it's just interesting too, because, you know, Bob Weir that just died, he has all this connections to XRP, the Ripple, the financial system. He died 911 days, or his last day alive was 911 days after the Ripple song came out on Pope Francis's birthday. And again, that was you could say that the day he died, or the last day alive on Earth, it was the 9th day of the 11th month, the 9th of January. Because again, January is really the 11th month, because December is 10, Deci is 10. So January, again, 9/11. His last performance was on Tisha B'Av. So that's why that all might connect with that as well, because the judge in the Ripple case, her birthday is November 11/19, which is very similar to 119, but her last name is Torres, and Torres means towers in Spanish. So there was a lot of symbolism with Ripple XRP in this case, and how it all kind of connects to the 9/11 code. But yeah, that's just an addition to how that connects with that. But
Cody, if I can just piggyback off of that for a second, we've talked a lot about the Spurs lately and 9/11 and Wemby being the One World Trade Center, right? Kind of taken over as the new big man after the twin towers of Tim Duncan and David Robinson. I just had to put this in here with the bank themes and the ice themes. The Spurs, even though they don't have this particular logo on their jersey anymore, one of their primary sponsors is Frost Bank. So they're kind of rotating the logos, so to speak, of their sponsors. But Frost Bank being sponsored by the team that has Wemby, whose full name has perfect overlap with One World Trade Center. I think that's a perfect alignment.
yeah. And the Minnesota Vikings, going back to what's been happening with Minnesota and the ice, they play in US Bank Stadium, I believe. I believe that's the name of their stadium. So there's that as well.
Yep, there you go.
There was, and then in the Ducks in the D2, like I don't know if maybe it points to something with like something happening to the banks, but one of the star Ducks from the first movie, Adam Banks, he gets hurt.
Yeah.
He gets hurt.
Wasn't he like their best player?
I think in the first movie. And then, he ends up getting hurt in the second movie because when someone slashes his wrist.
Yep, there you go. 99 he wears, huh?
Interesting.
great point.
Yeah, that's a good point with the Banks thing, because I mean, we had the Ducksworth, and then talking about Gordon Bombay selling out for money in that movie. And you have this guy Banks. So yeah, there's a lot of money symbolism in that movie. But yeah, I think this bank thing, because there was this event that's been talked about by this guy, this economist, the ICE 9 event, where there'll be some sort of banking freeze at some point. And then, yeah, I don't know exactly how that will happen, or when it will happen, or if it will happen, but it's something that has been postulated and talked about. So, and freezing a bank account is also a thing, right? So there's just that.
Yeah, I mean, to think about Vanilla Ice singing Ice Ice Baby on New Year's Eve at Trump's Mar-a-Lago, you got to think that that's kind of setting the stage for some things to come. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, because I don't know, with how plopped up the markets are and how in a bubble we really are, because if you really look at the charts, I mean, we're in a bigger bubble financially than we've ever been, of course, because we print money, but because in 1929, before the big crash, which was the year the Vatican was founded, by the way, the bubble we're in now is way bigger than that. So, I mean, something is going to give at some point. And the fact that Bad Bunny, I believe Bad Bunny's birthday is the banking. We had a few years ago, we had a banking issue. You guys remember that? We had a couple of banks collapsed. And I think that was like 2023 or 2022, but that was on Bad Bunny's birthday, one of those bank collapses. And Bad Bunny equals collapse in gematria. So you have a lot of that symbolism there. I'm actually a bit surprised that the Chargers are already out of this so fast, but Herbert had the same birthday as Bad Bunny, and the Charger horse theme was pretty big. But yeah, that was interesting that he's out already. But I mean, it was the Patriots, so it makes sense.
Yeah, maybe that was the ritual just for that matchup,
Yeah, speaking of Bad Bunny and collapse, so Bad Bunny, he lines up with Alice in Wonderland because the number of Alice in Wonderland is 106. That's the number on the Mad Hatter's hat. That's the price of his hat. It's 10 shillings 6 pence. 106 is the 106th NFL season. I talked about how the NFL did honor Mad Hatter Day, because Mad Hatter Day is October 6th in the United States, and there's October 6th was a Sunday, so there's one game. And of course, that game starred Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who defeated the Kansas City Royals. Well, Trevor Lawrence's birthday is October 6th. And so that was Mad Hatter Day. And I figured it might be too obvious, but I thought there's going to be a 10-6 score at some point in the game, but there wasn't. What there was, the halftime score was 14-7 in favor of the Jaguars. And 147 is the simple gematria value of Lewis Carroll. So they are taking, to some extent, the Mad Hatter into account with 106 and Alice in Wonderland. Another thing about the Mad Hatter, it features Alice in Wonderland features a rabbit, but the rabbit, there are two rabbits. There's the white rabbit and there's the March hare. So Bad Bunny is the March hare. He's not the white rabbit. He's the March hare. The March hare is the colleague of the Mad Hatter, who has 106 on his hat. And Bad Bunny was born in March, so he's the March hare. And another thing about the March hare has some straw on his head, a crude straw hat on his head. The March hare does. And in the NFL's official video announcing Bad Bunny as the halftime performer, Bad Bunny was wearing a straw hat. It's a traditional Puerto Rican straw hat called a pala. So that's actually a reference to the March hare, who has straw on his head. So for these reasons I've stated clearly, to some extent, to a large degree, there are multiple elements that go into these ritual elements. Alice in Wonderland is a major ritual element in the 106th NFL season with 106 on the hat, and the Bad Bunny, the rabbit's such a big factor. But a big part of Alice in Wonderland, which is the end of it, is the collapse. So it goes back to KODI has been emphasizing the collapse. The collapse is the biggest part of Alice in Wonderland. It's actually the finale. It's the kicker. So it's a metaphor. So Alice in Wonderland, The Matrix, The Truman Show, all these other things, the original work that was a metaphor for what's described in movies like The Matrix is Alice in Wonderland. In fact, Alice in Wonderland is repeatedly referenced in The Matrix. So Alice sees past the Matrix. Of course, she didn't use that term. She descends into, I guess, it's like us descending into this realm that we're in now. And the challenge is self-discovery. It's the challenge of self-discovery, which she has to discover, and she has to eventually see past the quote-unquote Matrix. And the key phrase at the end, when she sees past the Matrix, she sees past the whole thing. And the Red Queen, Donald Trump is a Red Queen. That's the tyrant in Wonderland. And she finally sees through the Red Queen's power. And this is the phrase, the key phrase, Alice in Wonderland, at the end. You're nothing but a pack of cards. And with that phrase, that's an indication that Alice has seen through the Matrix, and she's achieved the self-discovery. Because it starts with the caterpillar asks her, "Who are you?" KODI's talked about how they've talked about, he brought it up in wrestling WWE. Remember who you are. It's a big esoteric theme, very important. It's an Alice in Wonderland. But when she says you're nothing but a pack of cards, once she's seen through the Matrix, the entire Matrix collapses. So the collapse is a big part of Alice in Wonderland, but it's a collapse of the entire Matrix.
Makes me think of a house of cards, which you've touched on as well. When you build a house of cards, just the slightest little nudge will make it all collapse, right?
Yeah, and so that's the imagery. When she says you're nothing but a pack of cards and it all comes down, it's the collapse of the Matrix itself when you see through it. So which is a positive collapse. So collapse can be positive or negative. The end of the world as we know it could be positive because the world as we know it is not that positive a place, let's be honest. So if Alice in Wonderland is any metaphor, that's something that would be a good sign, is to collapse the entire Matrix itself. Again, this is what influenced, these modern classics of The Matrix and The Truman Show. And yeah, there's some coding, a fair bit of coding for Alice in Wonderland in the NFL season this year.
And I wanted to emphasize that too. Yeah, I mean, just to quickly touch on this because it's a big thing that happened. Conor McGregor made a gematria post. Yeah, he came out and he pretty much said, what we've been doing on our channels for years. He said he got married to his wife D at 12 on the 12th at 12 at 12:12. So on December 12th at 12:12 in the oldest chapel in Vatican. And he wrote, "The day was precisely 151 days after my birthday. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has the name that sums to 151 in gematria, as does my own." So yeah, he shows here Jesus Christ. I mean, this looks like a decode that we do on our little old channels, and here's Conor McGregor, who has 500,000 likes. This isn't even views. This is likes on this. So how many views? I don't know, but lots of views, I'm sure. So a lot of people getting a gematria lesson. Makes me think of this year.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry, Rambo. But yeah, he just states that, right? Which is just like, and just to verify that, he mentions Psalm 151, which is not even in the normal Bible. It's in the Septuagint, but there is a Psalm 151, talks about David and Goliath, which is kind of back to the underdog theme. But yeah, so that's the proof that he was doing a gematria decode. But what's funny is the Great Reset equals 151. So this is like what I want to reiterate is that like the collapse leading to something good, actually. Or like, you know, the Great Reset being something, well, I don't know what that means, but I just find it funny. The Great Reset also equals 151. Lord's Prayer 151. Jesus is Lord, Jesus Christ 151. Lots of 151s. But it's funny because a few days before that, he posted this. It's kind of my point. He posted this. And, you know, I've been talking about the white horse. And I've been talking about the year of the horse. And like, I don't know how many days before this. It's 4 days ago. He said, this is the year, folks. This is the one. The year of the horse. Watch it all take shape and reveal itself. All the good of the earth, the universe, and the heavens above. Health, wellness, peace, happiness, prosperity, the beauty of love and truth, the honor of hard work. Mystic Mac predicts. So you got this guy coming out and clearly giving us symbolism using gematria for thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of, maybe millions of people to see. And then he just posted this a few days before, talking about this year, the horse. It's going to be a good thing. So I don't know. Maybe.
No, nice to see a positive prediction, you know.
Yeah.
I think collapse of the matrix. I mean, that could be what people are referring to as a great awakening. You might be forced into an awakening. Then you realize, oh, it's so much better now. We're no longer trapped in the material. Who knows what could happen at the end?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm always looking for when I talk about collapse anyways, because I realize that it takes something to wake people up. It takes something that may seem bad on the surface to really make a change. I mean, people have to be nudged out of this somehow. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that people really do wake up. And the fact that you got somebody like this coming out and talking about what we talk about, I mean, it feels like a bit of a validation.
I was gonna say he did it like correctly, like he did good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he did it. And it's not just the gematria. He uses the techniques we use in this community, date durations and gematria, like showing the exact, it's the simplest form of what we do, but like it is exactly what we do. I mean, ever since Zach started this community, essentially by revealing this stuff, we've all done this and we all use this technique, and just seems like more like pointing to this huge guy. Like I said, I wish I could see how many views this got, but it got 500,000 something likes. So probably more now because this screenshot's old.
There was somebody in the gematria space over on Twitter or X that did a post on Conor McGregor several months ago at this point, I want to say. And Conor McGregor retweeted it and said, wow. And that was pretty much it. So I don't know if that's what spurred his interest in it or if this is all just for show or whatever it is. But the point is,
can you imagine Conor McGregor watching one of our channels and then saying, oh, I'm going to do a gematria decode on myself? And I can imagine him watching Sean's videos, how Sean always decodes himself and shows these amazing things. And then what if Conor McGregor watched one of Sean's videos or something? And it's like, let me decode my marriage and see if you know, it's lined up with this, you know, 12-12, you know. And just think about it, 12 disciples, Jesus Christ, 12 disciples. 12 times 12 is 144,000 saved in Revelation, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a big time number, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. 12 hours on the clock.
At Conor McGregor's level of notoriety, of celebrity and visibility, his impact on the world's consciousness, at his level, he cannot just send out any message he wants.
That's
At
that's
his
pretty
level,
much where I'm saying. Like, I got to
yeah,
take all of this with a grain of salt, right?
yeah. At his level, he's even at that level. He's not even necessarily the one who might have made the post.
Right.
At his level, you're not like a regular person who's just free to say whatever you want and post it up. And maybe if it breaks some kind of rule or they have a problem with it, it gets flat, whatever. But for the most part, you upload to social media whatever you feel like, not at Conor McGregor's level. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt as to just the fact that it's out there and it's associated with him. I don't know if it's coming from him directly necessarily.
Well, Babylon working equals 1212, so that maybe it's like disguising it as a nice, because of it's all nice and pretty. But
if you look at his actual age, on the day of his marriage, he was born July 14, 1988. Interesting, 88, because that's Donnie Darko year. But if you look at his age on 12/12, and shout out to the new calculator. I'm not going to get a chance to talk a lot about it, but this calculator's sweet. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, again, if you, just to reiterate, on the day he posted this, he was 13,000, or no. So on the day he married, which was 151 days after his birthday, if you span his age, his total age that day, he was 13,666 days old. So you have this kind of theme of the 666, which isn't a bad number. So we're not making it bad, but I'm just saying that that is another connection. And don't forget, 151 is the 36th prime, and 666 is the 36th triangular. So there is a connection just numerically with the number 666 and 151. But yeah, that's something to think about with that post and just how it aligns. But
yeah, and I was kind of thinking about the Moonchild thing, because like I said, the Moonchild is that has to do with the Babylon working, and
yeah,
so Babylon working equals 1212. If you want to look that up, in Latin, Babylon working is 1212, and then his name has the MC like both ways, because it's like CM Conor McGregor, but then he has the MC McGregor, so it's like with the A, it's like because the way that Aleister Crowley spelled it, it's like
like that.
Yeah, and then it's also 144, which is 12 times 12, which is interesting.
Well, that 234, that number I've talked about just recently, in Latin, the mark equals 234. And then like the 144, which is 12 times 12, and then the 1212, that could be. I mean, and this Mac thing, this MC McGregor, a Moonchild. Well, we just had something happen in WWE that points to this as well. We just had CM Punk become the world champion a few months ago, CM, and we just had a big upset. I wouldn't say it's a big upset, but I would say a bit of a shocking thing happened. Cody Rhodes, the golden boy of WWE, lost his title finally to Drew McIntyre, MC. And Drew McIntyre is the Scottish warrior. This is a Scottish Rite connection. Cody Rhodes' reign was 159 days. Scottish Rite 159. He lost to the Scottish guy, but that was exactly 224 years, 224 days after the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry was founded. And Drew McIntyre's full name in the Francis Bacon cipher equals 224. And in the single reduction gematria, ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemason equals 224. So that was, I found that today. I was like, wow, that's crazy. 224 years, 224 days. And that's his gematria. And that proves the Francis Bacon thing too, or the Bacon cipher that Rambo really got me onto. His name equals 224. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in there because we have the MC. He just won that. He's born on 6/6, McIntyre. And the last horse year was in 66. And that was the year the Church of Satan was founded. And that was the last fire horse year. So the Church of Satan was founded in the last fire horse year. So there's something big going on. And of course, Donald Trump's grandmother, I believe, died on 6/6, or his mother or grandmother, I can't remember. But yeah,
Well,
did she die in 66 too?
I'm not sure. I was just going to say Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco where the Super Bowl is being held.
Right. That's what kind of where I was getting at. It's like,
yeah,
we have the horse year coming, and then we have this horse year, fire horse, which connects to the last fire horse year, which, yeah, and it was his grandmother died on 6/6/66. So that means Drew McIntyre, the Scottish, and his grandmother was Scottish. Yeah, so Drew McIntyre has the same birthday as the death date of his Donald Trump's grandmother. And that's kind of like what I think this is pointing to as well, is this Scottish thing, because McIntyre did mention the World Cup in his speech. His first place he went after he won the title was Scotland. It just happened to be on the schedule that the first show they had after he won would be in Scotland. And he told the Scottish people that I finally brought the title back to you like I've been promising. And he said, let's get pumped up for the World Cup. And he started singing the song for the World Cup. And then that reminded me that who is the captain of the Scottish team? It's Robertson, my last name.
Yeah, Andy Roberts, number 26.
Yeah, and who did McIntyre beat to become champion to go to Scotland? KODI Rhodes, the guy whose my life is so connected to. And then he goes to Scotland, my home country, where my name comes from, and the captain of that team, the World Cup, which he talked about, is my last name. And on my birthday, Scotland will be playing, which is also King James' birthday. Scotland will be playing Morocco, as I mentioned before already. So yeah, that's all I got. But I just found all that really interesting.
This is something kind of interesting too. If you want, can you look up Trump's age on the day that Conor McGregor got married?
Trump's age?
Yeah.
The new good thing about this new calculator, guys, is you can archive all of your dates. So like you see here, I've already archived so many dates. Like, it's so nice to have this, right? And the calculator will tell you when you clicked on a date. So you can go in here, here's Donald Trump's birthday. You can add it to your date grid, so you can do all kinds of measurements. But notice that
this looks intense.
It's actually not as intense as it looks once you practiced it a little bit.
Of course.
But notice how once I add this to the grid, I can go here to my dates. So if I have a bunch of dates I'm looking at, I can easily switch to these dates because there's a little arrow here, and you can do that drop down, and you can click Donald Trump's birthday right here, and you can immediately place it in this grid. So see, it's just so much, and it says right here, you see, every date you have archived, it pulls up the date, and you can see all the other events that happen on the date. So you never forget anything, really. I mean, I've already been reminded of so many things as I'm looking through dates just in the last couple of days since I started using this. And of course, you got the astrology chart on the side, which you can look at in Vedic, sidereal. Yeah, I'm just not to talk too much about this, but this tool is going to make my job, my life, so much more awesome and easy. So shout out to Kate, who helped Derek make this. I just got to say that she did an amazing job. But yeah, anyway, what's the measure? So I think I got.
Yeah, so just go to the days.
Okay.
So I just thought it was interesting because Aleister Crowley, his birthday is 10/12, and then that's the 10th and 12th prime numbers. So it just kind of adds on to like the Moonchild Babylon working type of thing.
Right. And yeah, the 10th and the 12th, and then we had all the 12th stuff as well, because Aleister Crowley is born on the 12th. So yeah, and then you can, when you click the number here, you can click any number and it will actually break it down. And I know Sean does this a lot, but you can break down the primes and everything. So yeah, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that too real fast. But yeah, Sean, that Babylon working thing is definitely, just to go back to what I was saying about the MC, the CM stuff going on. I think that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, and like the wedding, to me, like weddings always remind me of an eclipse because of the two becoming one. And
yeah.
Even like the wedding ring is a symbol, like a wedding ring is, it matches what an eclipse looks like, I think, for that exact reason, because that's really what it's symbolizing. And then you even have like a diamond ring, which like in a certain eclipses look like the diamond ring in the sky. So I think that's also why he like included the wedding part.
Yeah, plus I have been talking about Jack Parsons. I feel like Jack Parsons on a very occulted level has been very significant to the events that have happened this year. I talked about Jack Parsons, especially with the NFL highlighting Parsons, the player Parsons, this year. I guess he's considered the best defensive player in the NFL. And that blockbuster trade shocked everybody when he went from Dallas. Like, why would Dallas give up the best defensive player in the NFL? But they did. He went to Green Bay, and then it didn't work out at Green Bay. His season gets hurt, but his season ends before he can play up in the playoffs. And I thought this alluded to Jack Parsons. And KODI brought it up about the letter from Aleister Crowley, which is dated on Donald Trump's birthday, on the day that Donald Trump was born, talking about his concerns about Jack Parsons and his attempt to create this moonchild. And that was dated on Donald Trump's birthday, and Donald Trump born on a blood moon. And look at the events that have happened on a full moon. So I said, let me look at the initials JP. That's actually what made me look at that. I really wasn't going to look at that. It was celebrity fight. I mean, there's some hidden substance to everything, even the most trivial looking thing. I really wasn't going to look at that fight, but the reason I looked at it is because of the initials JP. And I was thinking in terms of Jack Parsons, and that's Jake Paul. And sure enough, that fight happened at a time of the new moon. The last time he was in a high-profile match, Jake Paul, JP, it was on a full moon against Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Mike Tyson mooned the camera. It's all about the moon. Then it's at a new moon. Donald Trump was born on a full moon, and he wrote. Aleister Crowley wrote that letter about Jack Parsons trying to create a moonchild on the day, dated on the day that Donald Trump was born. And then the latest one was the bombing of Caracas, Venezuela, and the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro. That was done on a full moon. So we went from a new moon to a full moon. And Donald Trump actually did get involved, at least comment-wise, in the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight. He was Jake Paul is MAGA. He's straight MAGA. And Donald Trump mentioned it. Apparently, Donald Trump has time to sit and watch, at least highlights and even sports, but he commented on it. When again, at his level, like I just said with Conor McGregor, who knows if Donald Trump even is writing these tweets or whatever, Truth Social, his social media posts. There's a good chance that he didn't not the one who wrote it, but nonetheless, he's associated with commenting on that fight. How Jake Paul, who's MAGA, was brave, and he was kind of a David going up against Goliath, and he's all proud of Jake Paul. And it's all moon ritual, all around the moon. He was doing a new moon, a comment from Trump, who was born at a blood moon, full moon. Then he invades Venezuela on a full moon. And so I think that Jack Parsons is related to all of this. I even referred to the cover of The Economist, the 2026 year preview issue, where it's full of rockets. And Jack Parsons, JPL Labs, Jet Propulsion Labs, it's occulted to Jack Parsons Labs. So he's one of the fathers of rocketry, and the rockets all over the cover of the 26. So, and there's a crater on the dark side of the moon named after Jack Parsons, Jack Parsons crater. So I think he is a factor with the JP and this whole moonchild thing. These are all references to Jack Parsons. I think his influence cannot be understated. So I'll just
RAMBO, sorry, really quick. I just wanted to plug 47 Slouch. Just speaking of Jake Paul, because he sent me a text that I thought was really fitting, of just a common pattern And then I'll pass it right back to you, Cody. Check this out. So Slouch texted me. He said, have you noticed that Jake Paul fights Nate Robinson and then Nate almost dies from kidney failure? Then Jake Paul fights Mike Tyson and he almost died and was shortly hospitalized. Then he fights Julio Chavez and he gets deported. Then he fights Anthony Joshua. Then both of his trainers and coach die. And then he also fought Ben Askren and he almost died recently and was hospitalized. It's like there seems to be a trend there, but I just want to throw that in there. Shout out to you, Slouch.
Yeah, and I did hear that. I think I saw that somewhere too. All this Jake Paul fights end up leading to his opponent being, which is interesting. But I mean, just to reiterate really quickly what Rambo was saying, the Alan Parsons Project, we know how big that album is, the serious thing I've talked about so many times, and I know Rambo has as well, but the Parsons name also, I was doing research. I didn't do a decode on it yet. I kind of got taken off of it by other events, but I was looking really deeply into the Proton, the horse given to Pope Leo. Well, that actually connects to the Big Bang Theory, which also connects to Jim Parsons. You know Jim Parsons, the actor who plays the main character in that show, and that whole thing is about science and same type of stuff, right? Like building rockets, or it's just science in general, science and atomics. But yeah, you got that character in that show, the Big Bang Theory, and there's a few episodes in that show called like the Proton event or the Proton. There's a couple different episodes, and the mentor of Jim Parsons in that is a guy named Professor Proton. So I was looking into that, and I think this ties into this Parsons stuff as well, because it ties in with the horse thing, of course, the white horse, the Proton, Pope Leo, but it also ties into the Jack Parsons, the JP, right? So, and interestingly enough, JP is 1016, right? J is the 10, 16 is P. Well, we did just have we just had the death of Bob Weir, whose birthday was 1016, and also, funny enough, my favorite musician John Mayer, who played with Bob Weir in the Grateful Dead, the Dead and Company, he happens to have the same birthday as Bob Weir, so they both have the same birthday, 1016. So that's just some interesting stuff to go along with the Parsons.
And Rambo, I was wondering, have you gotten a chance to look into this show? This is about Jack Parsons, and it released on Trump's. Yeah, it's called Strange Angel, and it released on Trump's birthday.
I've watched this actually. I've watched this whole show.
Oh, you did?
It's super interesting.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll I don't know if I'll find somewhere I can see it, but yeah, thanks for telling me about it. I'll look into it.
Yeah, it's like it's based on like just his blatant like occultic connections. Because like you just look up, it just rocket scientist and occultist Jack Parsons. That's just what it's about. But
I believe the second season is like all named after the tarot deck. If I remember correctly, like the episodes are all named after the tarot deck.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this, and then I was thinking again about Conor McGregor's his wedding. So if you go from the first episode to Conor McGregor's wedding, it's 7 years, 26 weeks, and that's pretty on the nose, because like no extra days or anything, and Revelation and Antichrist equals 726. So I think that kind of goes back to the possible connection with like birthing the Antichrist, Babylon working, all that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, yeah. Trump is, for whatever reason, who knows what it means, he's coded with this.
Oh, wait! Look at that. So there's something here I wouldn't have caught had you not said this. You see how because that's Trump's birthday, right? Yeah, that's Trump's birthday and the release of that show. Mm-hmm. So it's 182 days. after Trump's birthday.
Oh yeah.
He got married.
Oh, sorry.
Well, again, if you go from McGregor's birthday to the day he made this post about the marriage, it's the same. It's 182 days.
We say that one more time.
So because Conor
saying.
McGregor's birthday is just 1 month after Trump's, right?
Oh,
It makes sense why he waited a month to post this, because this is another tribute to Trump, because this is the same amount of days from the post, because he posted this on January 12th.
Also, if you take away the end date,
marriage on the 12th of January, so that means it was 182 days.
Oh yeah,
after his birthday.
Oh, and that's it. It's kind of interesting too. 26 weeks, like God again. But no, I see what you're saying with the 182. Yeah.
So that, and you know what equals 182? Mystery Babylon.
Oh, let's see.
Not the way Aleister Crowley spells it though, but like the biblical way of spelling it, Mystery Babylon.
Oh wow, that's really good.
So, and think about it. A wedding is an unveiling, right? So you have to lift the veil, right? And he posting this and lifting the veil on Gematria. I mean, how many people just saw Gematria for the first time? How many people? A lot. Lifting the veil, Mystery Babylon, the revealing. He posts the post about the white horse a few days before that. He says this is the one. This is the, what did he say? This is the I can't even remember what he said now. He said something about revealing as well in that post. Oh yeah, watch it all take shape and reveal itself. That's what he said in the post about the horse. And so now Mystery Babylon, revealing the mystery. The Catholic Church often described as the harlot, the Mystery Babylon. Where was this wedding? It was in the oldest church in Vatican, oldest still standing church.
Yeah, that's good. And I think his wife's name is like Devlin or something, right?
Yeah, Devlin. Yeah, I saw that. Her name is D. Devlin. What's interesting too, the WWE, they have a wrestler right now. His name is J.D. McDonough. He's Irish. His last name is Devlin. You got this J.D. connection too. His name's J.D. But yeah, so yeah, J.D. Wow. Okay. Yeah, his name is J.D. and his real name is Devlin. So probably connects. And last night on Raw, they had an Irish theme because Becky Lynch just won the title back and she's Irish. And they had Finn Balor come out and challenge CM Punk for the World Championship. He's Irish. They're going to be in Ireland next week. So it just seems like all this Irish stuff is coming to a head now. Something with Ireland for sure.
I'm not asking people to bet, but I've done decodes based on the Irish flag. A couple of years ago, I was doing some decodes. The Irish flag is orange, white, and green. Well, who's in the final of the NCAA college football? It's the orange, white, and green. They have the Irish flag colors. I'm not saying, bet based on that, but it's just interesting with this Irish theme. There is a team with Irish colors in the final of the NCAA.
They kind of have a duck logo too, don't they?
Yeah, it's an ibis.
Yeah,
that's Thoth. I mean, when I think of the ibis, I think of Thoth from Tehuti from.
Well, that connects perfectly to Crowley. Thoth, the Thoth deck. Doesn't he have the Thoth deck?
Yeah. Thoth is the god of the tarot deck. Yeah. Jehudi. Yeah. But that orange, white, and green is if there's an Irish theme, and then those colors will be significant. I'm not saying they'll necessarily win, but
but that's interesting. Do you remember how a month or so ago I showed you how the Maxine Dupree, she had won as an underdog, she had beat Becky Lynch, the Irishman.
Yeah.
And she was wearing the green and yellow when she did it. Well, she ended up losing the title back a few weeks ago to Becky Lynch, the same person she lost it to. And now next week in Ireland, they're doing it again. They're having the same match again, which they've overdone this. So it's clearly a big thing because I've never seen somebody have so many matches against each other. But like they're doing it again where she's the underdog. So Maxine comes in again to face Becky, who has the title again, but it's going to Ireland this time. And then, of course, Finn Balor, he's going to be fighting the champion next week, CM Punk. The CM again, CM Punk. So, Yeah, so I don't know what that means for the whole Miami game with Indiana, but probably is something with that.
Well, in Rambo, you've talked a lot about just the logo of Indiana University being the trident, which kind of takes us right back to the Twin Towers, 9/11, kind of built with that trident shape from the bottom up.
That's it's a different theme, but yeah, their tridents were blatantly like all over the Twin Towers. I believe that they were destroying the trident.
Neptune is the god of horses.
And I believe all the Indianapolis codes I did this year was pointing to Indiana University, because I told you the first game of the season for Indianapolis was Miami. They played Miami and won 33-0. Or no, was it 33-0, or it was 33 to something? But so that theme I was talking about all year with Indianapolis only going to the Super Bowl when that was being played in Miami, and now you have the championship game being Indiana versus Miami. That seems like that was part of the big theme there.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think the championship game is at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
I just remember that. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
That.
I'll double check, but yeah, go ahead, Rambo. I'm sorry.
I'm going to say another country with green, white, and orange, which I didn't make a big post on it, but when I was doing my green, white, and orange Irish theme 2 years ago, I figured I tied it into soccer. The African Cup of Nations determined the best nation team in Africa. Their final was the same day as the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Super Bowl 58. And before around the semis, I figured, there's another country that has those colors, Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast has their flag looks just like the Irish flag, but the colors are in a different sequence. Green, white, orange, white, green. And they won. They won the Africa Cup of Nations on the day of the Super Bowl. The big Irish victory at the Super Bowl was Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is a very Irish name. It's a more Irish name than the name Patrick. But I saw that they had the Cricket World Cup in the United States was going to host the Cricket World Cup, which I have zero interest in cricket, but I figured, I think India will win it only because of the colors. I did not do a post on it, but yes, India won based on those colors. So that's the thing. So the Indian flag is also orange, white, and green. India's been in the news quite a bit, especially with Indian politicians, in mostly Republican Indian politicians, but also New York mayor, the big underdog story, saying the U is, that's underdog. That's the underdog logo on his chest, the superhero underdog, the U. And the biggest underdog story is Zohran Mamdani winning the mayoralty of New York City. That's a huge underdog. He defeated New York State royalty, the Cuomo, which no one thought that would be possible. That's the biggest underdog story. Well, Zohran Mamdani, his family originated in Uganda, East Africa, but their family originated from India. So they went from India to Uganda, and then from Uganda to New York, and now he's mayor. So on the Democrat side, there's also Kamala Harris, although she's not really in the news. India has been in the news. There's also that plane crash of the Indian Air, Flight 171. And 171 ties into a bunch of stuff. That's a whole nother decode. So India is another green, white, and orange. And it ties into Indiana Jones because you have Indiana Jones, but Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom took place in India. So there's some of that symbolism. I'm just pointing out some symbolism. I'm not making a prediction. It's just interesting pattern with the orange, white, and green, Ireland, India, and what's been in the news.
Did you guys hear the story of in India where there's an elephant that killed 20 people? That was like a few days ago.
Oh wow. No, that's a big story. Because I've been looking at the elephant symbolism too.
Well, that's because Denmark has the elephant on their flag.
And weren't we just talking about Heliofont last week? Kind of that anagram, so to speak, of elephant.
Yeah, and also to reiterate, Rambo, you mentioned Kamala Harris hasn't been in the news connecting to India, but did you know that the ICE shooting in Minneapolis, which had all the 1-7 connections, was it 107 days after she released her book? 107 days.
Well, after Kamala Harris released it,
she released a book called 107 Days.
Okay.
And it was the shooting happened 107 days after her book.
Oh, what the heck?
It's the gematria of shooting.
Wait, maybe. Oh, you did tell me that. I think that's crazy.
So she kind of maybe not in the news, but she's definitely connected to the news because she had that. I believe the book. Yeah, that someone else told me that because I don't remember who it was. Sorry, but they said it was 107 days after that book. So.
Yeah, thanks, Sean, for bringing up that Indian elephant story because I had been looking at elephants. Actually, I think I talked about it last. I know we're kind of all over the place with different imagery, but that's how we kind of connect dots, you know. But we're talking about elephants. Now we're on elephant, ducks, elephants, you know.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
It's just the animals. It's all about the animals.
But the elephant does tie into Ice Age because the star character is the mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
And where's the mammoth team in pro sports? Is the Utah Mammoth? Yeah, the Utah Mammoth in the NHL.
They're kicking ass right now tonight, by the way.
Yeah, and also the elephant is a symbol of the Republican Party as well. So I wonder if the elephant killing 20 and most of the besides Mamdani, he's from an Indian Muslim background. Most of in fact, all of the Republican Indians of Indian descent, they're Americans, but of Indian descent, who are Republican are all from a Hindu background. So that's interesting. The Democrat is the Muslim, and the Republicans are the Hindus. It's pretty straight line drawn for some reason. But the elephant comes in over there because that's the symbol of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is the elephant. I think in Trump's first term, he actually did sign a bill which seemed unlike him because, let's face it, he doesn't have a reputation of being motivated by compassion. He doesn't have that reputation. Who knows what he's really like? He signed a bill that protected elephants, I think worldwide. Like it actually is it did things like banning the sale of ivory and things like that. And he was being praised by environmental groups and animal rights groups who normally don't like Trump. That's the one animal rights protection he actually signed into law, I guess, was some elephant. I have to look up the details of it, but he did sign an elephant protection. And when I saw that story, I figured the reason he did it is because the elephant is a symbol of the Republican Party. Not to be cynical, I mean, if he helped animals, then that has to be appreciated. But it just happens to be a symbol of the Republican Party. So I've been on the elephant theme. So yeah, thanks, Sean, for mentioning that. I think that ties into, just think of a Republican, an elephant is a sign of Republicans, and then this elephant in India, where there are all these Indian, as Ramaswamy, he's been in the news. So Ramaswamy, he was in the Republican primary for the presidency. Of course, it's always going to go to Trump, but he made a splash. Of course, he didn't get the nomination, but then he ran for governor of Ohio, and then all this, I guess, is anti-immigrant stuff. Not that he's an immigrant; he was born here. That's been the big controversy around Ramaswamy, is how he's being rejected by the Republican base because he's Indian. And there's also Nikki Haley, she's Indian, who was of Indian descent. She was the governor of, was it South Carolina? And then there's J.D. Vance's wife, Usha. There's a U in India. Talk about a green, white, and yellow and the U. Usha Vance. She's of Indian origin, green, white, and yellow, and she's the U, Usha. And there have been a couple others, Dinesh D'Souza, all these Republican Indians who are in the news. So an elephant on the rampage in India kind of does tie into this. Like Trump, Republicans are on the rampage with ICE, you could say. That's a great find. That's a great connection. I'll look into that story.
And don't forget to look into this too, Rambo, while you're doing it. I don't know if you already have, but this is the Order of the Elephant from Denmark.
Oh, that's interesting because like when you look at the history, it actually ties into Mary and holding her son.
Mother of God, yeah. It says the Danish. Yeah, the Danish. It's called wait, what's it say? The Danish confraternity called the Fellowship of the Mother of God.
That's interesting.
So this is probably why Denmark's also in the news. I mean, of course, they have the Sirius dog sled team, right? That's Sirius, but I wonder, because Sirius is also connected with the mother of, like, the mother of God, the Queen of Heaven, you know, like symbolism. And so I'm wondering how the elephant might actually connect to the Sirius as well, maybe. I mean, we know Denmark already has the Sirius connection, clearly. So, but the elephant as well, so.
Yeah, it's all this Republican symbolism. That's interesting. Trump, Republican, the elephant, attacking, threatening to attack and invade the country that has the elephant on its crest. And that is an Indian elephant. You can see that's an, even says in the description, right? That's an Indian elephant. Even the person sitting on the elephant is Indian. There's that connection.
Yeah, supposedly this order comes from, I haven't read the whole thing, but it comes from India. So, which is interesting because, you know, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say we touched recently on the Gene Hackman connections and the movie Crimson Tide. Alabama, they got their ass kicked by Indiana IU. So there's that kind of India connection, and the U, the submarine.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, the U is a submarine. Like I said, Crimson Tide is the name of a submarine. And remember the German U-boats from World Wars I and II? They call Unterboot. It's a submarine. And my whole thing with the submarine started outside the submarine sandwich, Subway sandwich store on U Street. That got me on this whole thing, Utah and everything, long before Charlie Kirk. Now it goes full circle, I guess, with the mammoth, Utah mammoths and the elephants.
And I was about to say, too, like, it kind of, because you guys would bring up, like, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Brown, the Peanut King, elephants and peanuts.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a coincidence, too, like Rambo mentioned, Utah hockey team. We're talking a lot about Mighty Ducks and hockey, right? But the Utah hockey team is the elephant, essentially, a mammoth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and then you have I get, maybe this might have something to do with it, because I know, like, elephants are, like, they're also known for, like, the circus, and you have the ringmaster, right, of the circus, and then Gunther was like the ring leader, right? That's his nickname.
The ring general, yeah.
Ring general. So that kind of, I guess, I don't know, but I know, like, there's circle connection with the circus.
Yeah,
and,
elephants, circus, tents, Kirk. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Kirk was sitting under a tent, wasn't he?
And they're going to circle. Remember my whole decoy is based on the circle?
Yes,
because
exactly.
the etymology of Kirk and circle is the same.
Yep.
Oh man, this is never ending, isn't it?
Yeah, it's never ending.
Well, I got one more thing to throw in here. For more details on it, you guys could check out my live stream I did with Myron, aka He Got Game, last night, called Doomsday. Did you guys hear about the Doomsday plane and or know about the Avengers movie called Doomsday coming out in May this year?
No, I didn't. I'll speak for myself. No.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out two things. I mean, he goes into a lot of detail in these slides, but the main thing I wanted to show you guys is, look at this. So this was buzzing in the news over the last week. You had the Doomsday plane fly, I think, for the first time ever into LAX. This is apparently a plane for the president that can withstand nuclear war. So that's been causing a lot of buzz in the news, so to speak. But the main things here that I thought was super interesting, you know, from a comic Marvel perspective, right? We're talking about Avengers Doomsday, the movie coming out in May. Myron, shout out to you. He pointed out that Dr. Doom in Marvel, his birthday is January 19th. So this goes back to the date of this upcoming college football championship, which is also Martin Luther King Day. And it's also been 119 years since San Francisco's 7.9 earthquake back in the day. And then I think it was you, Sean. Right before I jumped on last night, you just reminded me that don't forget that Donnie Darko, the Sundance premiere, before it was even released in theaters, was on January 19th, 2001, the same year as 9/11. Several months later. And
real quick, I was gonna mention, so the this coming January 19th is gonna be the 25th anniversary, right? So I think that's interesting because time is 25, right? 20.
Right.
And back to, I mean, that had so much to do with time, like the end of the world, and then Doomsday, the end of the world. So that was kind of interesting. And the 88 days, or all the numbers adding up to 88.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. For those that want to follow Myron, you guys can find him here. You guys can just pause the video. He got game with the Easus 3s with an underscore at the end. Good friend of mine. But yeah, just keep that in mind. The Doomsday plane lands. I think it's like first spotted in over a decade, I think. And it just so happened to land in LAX at the same time that this Avengers, speaking about green, right? Avengers Doomsday, one thing that Myron taught me was that, because we did another stream about Iron Man, right? Tony Stark. Apparently, Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom. I don't know enough about Marvel and kind of this whole storyline, but that's essentially what this is about. So just some things to think about, especially since Doctor Doom's birthday is January 19th, the date of the college football championship, next Monday on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I know we're almost right at the 3-hour mark. We've covered a lot of ground. Like Rambo said, you know, we kind of throw a lot on the table, but there's always connections every which way we look. This has been an awesome ride, that's for sure. Was there anything else that we wanted to kind of touch on or whatever before we start landing the plane?
Yeah, I need to take off within 5 minutes. So
that's fine. So let's just start wrapping it up with outros. Cody, if you wouldn't mind just reminding the viewers, for those that might not be familiar with you and your work, where they can find you and support you.
Yeah, thanks again. What a great stream. It was amazing having Sean here also to fill in the blanks on some stuff and to share what he found. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Rambo. Thank you, AJ, for putting this together, being the bridge. Just a shout out to AJ. He's essentially the bridge between all of us.
Sean's the real bridge because he bridged you and I together.
Sean was the bridge between me and you. So yeah, so Sean's the bridge too. Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of bridge stuff. But I appreciate you all, and glad I was able to be on here tonight. If you guys want to support the channel, as usual, Decoding with Cody on YouTube, and buymeacoffee.com/decodingwithcody. Thank you.
Yeah, Cody, always appreciate you, man. Yeah, feel free to jump off whenever you need to. I know it's late or very early for you, so we really appreciate the sacrifices you make for us, man.
If we go like too long, I'll probably just drop out because I need to do something and then I need to get some more sleep probably. But yeah,
I hear you, man. We appreciate you, Codes. Thanks again so much. I look forward to next week. Best night of the week.
Absolutely.
And so Sean, before we pass things off to Rambo, if you wouldn't mind just giving a quick plug on yourself, where people can find you, what you focus on. I know this is the first time you've been able to be on the Eye to Eye show. Then again, just so you guys know, Sean and I have done a lot of work together. You guys can find most of those videos on his channel, which is Widow's Son 1017.
Yeah, I'll put the link to but oh shoot, actually I don't know if it's gonna let me. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna let me. I don't know if anyone out there.
I can just put at Widow's Son 1017.
Or actually, I might be able to do it on my phone. But anyways, yeah, today was super fun. I can't believe how fast, like, getting to experience it firsthand. It like goes by in like 5 minutes. It's crazy how fast 3 hours goes by. It was cool. It was cool getting to talk to you, Rambo.
Thanks.
Yeah, and yeah, I learned so much from you, and the show's going great. It's like crazy to see that it's episode 34 and see how far it's gone, and it was such a pleasure being able to be part of it today. So yeah, I guess like what I like to focus on and why today was so fun for me, it challenged me so much because I really am like super like technical with like the numbers and stuff. I really am like a number, like very heavy number based, and but I do like to like, I think there is probably two sides of it, like the organic side and then the controlled side. And my channel is really just based on the organic side. Like I try to find the things that are going on, like in the news and stuff, but I try to only share things that I can find my own connections with. And I think that I think it sheds light on like how big this like whole matrix is. So I think I like to do that because it's a lot more challenging for me, and it also kind of like shows like, because I don't think I'm very smart at all. So it's like the fact that something's kind of fallen in my lap is kind of a sign that it is coming from an outside source that's outside of myself. So I try to show that as much as I can. And yeah, pretty much I like to show the proof of God through my findings. That's my number one message, is that I think at least the stuff that I'm trying to share is like just the side that's coming from God. But yeah, like I said, it's really number based, but today was really fun because I got to I really like what you guys do with the wordplay and the connections, and like it's been pretty undeniable, like pretty much going back to the beginning of this stream, which had to do with the Mighty Ducks, seeing how the Mighty Ducks theme has panned out so much, and connected to AJ's work that he's been doing since he started the channel with the Love Connection. And there's another thing we'll probably have to talk about next time, right? Like the Goofy movie, all that.
Absolutely. Max's best friend is JP. We were talking about JP. I was like, oh, there you go. That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, thank you again so much, Sean. I mean, for you to say that you don't feel like you're smart at all, I mean, that just goes to show your humility. Makes me think of Socrates' quote, "I'm the wisest man I know because ultimately I admit that I know nothing." But that's why these collaborations are so awesome, because I sit here every week alongside Cody and Rambo, and I feel like a little kid. Like I feel like I'm in algebra as a fifth grader, just sitting here being like, oh my God, hey, 1 + 1 = 2. And they're like, that's cute. That's cute. Anyways. No, we really appreciate you, Sean, man. You've been around for a long time, and please, you guys, I have his handle right here pinned in the comments, WidowSon1017. Please give him some love and support, help grow his channel. Just like with all the rest of us, Decoding with Cody, you guys can find Rambo on the Truth Codes. He's going to share his handles as well shortly. But yeah, really appreciate you, Sean. Thank you so much, man. You've added a lot to tonight's stream. It means a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, hopefully in the near future, I could join you guys again. But yeah, just sometime in the near future, like I'll still be here to watch you guys. So if things work out again later on, that'd be cool.
Absolutely, man. Let us know anytime that you're not working on a Tuesday, and maybe we can get you back in here.
For sure.
Yeah, I reiterate what AJ said. I'm surprised you think yourself is not a smart guy. I think the consensus among people who've seen your work is you are a brilliant guy. Today you had some great contributions, giving me things to look at. I appreciate you. I appreciate Cody as well each week with his brilliance. And I think we saw last week when AJ wasn't there. I mean, AJ is downplaying, saying he's the kid 1 + 1. Yeah, but what happened when you weren't there, AJ? This is your project. You every week, me and Cody always say, thank you, AJ, for bringing it together. When you weren't there, it wasn't the same. Look at the views. It just wasn't the same. You're like, I don't know, you're like the soul, I guess, of because this is your project. And I think we saw what happened when you left. You were jokingly saying when you're not there, it'll be the best show. I think it was the opposite. It was the opposite, honestly. and you can see the difference in the views and just the intro wasn't there. It's just it's not the same. I mean, so no, you're this wouldn't happen without you. And I think by you not being there, they say you don't miss the water till the well runs dry. Well, there was, I mean, you did show up, but still, it wasn't the same. It even shows in the views. So your contribution is very much appreciated.
That means a lot, Rambo. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
No, it was seen. I mean, the proof is the proof of the.
Well,
pudding.
yeah. I mean, I want to echo that because it just wasn't the same for me. Part of the show that I enjoy is having you as the host, and for me, it wasn't the same either because it was just missing that other aspect. And it's not that me and Rambo did bad necessarily. It's just that it was just missing that soul of it, right?
Yeah.
And to have Sean here today makes this stream actually a little bit more soulful because Sean's kind of the soul of me and AJ's connection originally. So I find that this stream I felt really good with this stream today. So appreciate you all.
I appreciate you both very much for saying that. It means a lot. I've always been so blessed to be a part of this with you guys because, yeah, we're always growing and learning together. And I try to make it fun, have some fun, have some laughs along the way. So thank you guys for the kind words. I really appreciate that. Yeah,
you're welcome. Again, we're not just saying it. Just look at the views. It's just there's something missing. It's like clearly.
Well, we're always here. I just got to say, well, thank you, Rambo and KODI, for keeping this train rolling despite what I had to go through last week, and I'm very happy I was able to jump in when I did last week as well. It was like it kind of ripped my heart out. I was like, man, this is like the one thing I look forward to every week. Like I say, best night of the week. So I just appreciate you guys keeping it going, and I'm always going to be here for you guys in the community as much as I possibly can. So it means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where I can be found, patreon.com/thetruthcodes. I appreciate you promoting my channel, AJ, all that you've done. And Instagram.com/thetruthcodes. And I should, again, based on where I am in the editing process, hopefully people saw the trailer at the beginning of the show. I figure by 12 noon, around that time, I should have the video out, barring any technical issues. Because these things come up. I should have that video out. It's called I-35. It's a play on the word I, Interstate 35. And that's what it'll be about. So thanks again for a great show for the audience and all my fellow guests, and of course the host, most importantly.
I appreciate you, Rambo. I notice I haven't been intercepting your alley-oops as much lately, so I'm getting better at that.
Oh yeah, KODI took over.
Yeah. We're gonna have a lot to talk about next week, right? Tuesday is gonna be the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day, after the college football championship. So very much looking forward to that one as well. So thank you again, Rambo. Seriously, true honor and blessing to always have you in our corner every single week. Once again, you guys can find all of his content for only $5 a month, you guys, not a day, not a week, at patreon.com/thetruthcodes. And he's going to have his 25 to 30 minute full video out for us by sometime tomorrow, all making sure that there's no technical issues. So I'm looking forward to that one too, Rambo. Thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Also, one last thing. It looks like the Ducks are going to win their first game tonight against the former team from Minnesota. How about that?
The Stars, right? That patriotism themes. Yeah. Very cool.
They're up 2-0 right now. So looks like they might get that win after 9 times they haven't had a win in 9 games. So perfect stream because we talked about Ducks a lot today.
No kidding. And Sean and I are both from the Southern California area, just south of LA. I know him and I both grew up Ducks fans. So
I'm like 20 minutes from the Honda Center.
Yeah, they call it the Honda Ponda. I miss going to those games. Maybe next time I'm in town, Sean, we can go catch one.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But, yeah. For those that don't know me, AJ, Balll Don't Lie, 3 L's in Ball. You guys can find me primarily on Instagram and YouTube. I also have my Patreon channel, patreon.com/onthemoneyball for those that are looking for sports picks. Congrats to the winners on the Patreon tonight and this whole month. Honestly, we've been having a great run. I put out the Ducks tonight, and I also put out the Jets in a 119 ritual, and it looks like both of them are coming to fruition. So come give me a shot if you guys are interested in looking at what I put out before game time. Without further ado, we'll wrap it up here. And thank you guys so much. Once again, thank you also. I got to say thank you guys so much to the viewers and to the commentators, because you guys are seriously a huge part of this show, which is why I always make sure to keep an eye on the chat as much as I can, because you guys bring phenomenal information. We also got Mighty Tiger 3000 saying that it's the best $5 that they've ever spent on Rambo's Patreon. Give him a shot as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep. So without further ado, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you guys next week. Until the next one.
Take care.
Peace, ballers.
Yeah, and then, bruv. Yeah, you bruv. Let me tell you about this one time. I went through a porthole and snuck into the North Pole and got picked up in a Hyperborean DeLorean. They said they knew I was a Webster Merriam historian, mastered a numerical Gregorian, the hysterical mystic, no more than a Pythagorean, conspiracy theory Ethereum in the etheric fear realm. I thought they were gonna take me to the crematorium in their Hyperborean DeLorean. Tested me on my Sumerian, Shakespearean, knew I was a numerical vegetarian, Aquarian, that I knew about the Tartarians.